A dragon's jaw snaps shut where my head was half a second ago, and somehow I am still considered the weakest student at Blackspire Academy. I hit the stone hard, roll beneath a sweep of crimson claws, and hear my squad retreat across the bridge behind me. Nobody calls my name. That part is not surprising. See, Blackspire Academy is built inside the fossilized ribcage of a world dragon that died 3,000 years ago. Its towers hang between massive white bones, its training grounds float over a volcanic basin, and every student who graduates is expected to kill dragons for a living. There is one small problem. I have less mana than some household lamps. The Ember Drake lunges again. I shove myself sideways. Its claw tears through my academy coat and opens 3 burning lines across my ribs. Pain flashes white. I keep moving. Still alive? Sarek Vorn's voice reaches me from the far end of the bridge. He is standing behind the safety barrier with the rest of my squad. Of course he is. Sarek is Blackspire's first lance highest combat score in our year, heir to one of the 7 licensed dragon ranches, and owner of enough mana to make instructors smile before he even opens his mouth. He lowers his silver spear. He could kill the Ember Drake from there. He does not. Instead, he watches it circle me. If you survive, he calls, at least try not to lower the class average. A few students laugh. I memorize the sentence, not because it hurts, because useful information should never be wasted. The Ember Drake inhales. Its throat glows. I sprint. Fire detonates behind me. The blast hurls me off my feet, and I slam shoulder first into one of the enormous fossil ribs supporting the training platform. Something cracks. Probably me. The Drake stalks through the smoke. It is only juvenile, 7 meters long, barely old enough to form a proper flame gland. Blackspire calls this beginner-level prey. For me, it might as well be an ancient dragon king. I reach for the practice blade at my waist. Gone. Wonderful. The Drake charges. I glance left. Broken railing. Right. Collapsed stone. Behind me. World dragon bone. Ahead. Teeth. My options are embarrassingly limited, so I choose the stupid one. I run straight at it. The Drake lowers its head. I wait. 1 step. 2, 3. Now. I dive beneath its jaw and slam both hands against the underside of its neck, not to hurt it. That would be hilarious. I shove sideways. The dragon's momentum carries it directly into the cracked support pillar behind me. Stone explodes. The pillar collapses. So does half the bridge. The Ember Drake roars as several tons of academy masonry crush its hind legs. I land beside the edge, still breathing, barely. For a moment, nobody speaks. But luck usually does not involve measuring fracture lines while something is trying to eat you. The instructors finally move. Chains launch from the observation platform and wrap around the trapped Drake. A containment rune flashes. Its flames die. Roostmaster Maelorfen descends the stairs with his hands behind his back. He runs Blackspire's live dragon training program, which means every beast brought into this academy, every combat assignment, every casualty waiver, and every dragon corpse eventually passes through his office. His gray coat does not have a single speck of ash on it. Mine is currently on fire. He looks at the ruined bridge, then at the dragon, then at me. Not once does he ask whether I am injured. You damaged academy property. I stare at him. The dragon was trying to kill me. That was the exercise. The exercise said the squad was supposed to stay inside the arena. Maelor glances toward Sarek. Sarek smiles. That answers that. Maelor walks past me. Weak things are useful when they die in the right place. There it is. Another sentence worth keeping. 2 attendants drag the Ember Drake away. Its blood leaves a dark trail across the white stone. I watch it disappear through the lower gate. Something about the blood bothers me. It is moving. Not flowing, moving. Thin black threads pulse inside the crimson trail, all of them crawling in the same direction. Down, toward the academy catacombs. I blink. The threads vanish. Interesting. Nyron. A sharp voice pulls my attention back. Curator Lysra Quill stands beside the damage ledger. She controls contribution credits from academy hunts, dragon scales, cores, claws, blood crystals, kill ownership, everything students need to buy equipment or qualify for better classes. She taps her metal stylus against the page. Your contribution is 0. I look at the collapsed bridge. I trapped it. Sarek's squad completed containment. After leaving the arena, her expression does not change. A corpse doesn't earn contribution points. I am not dead. Then consider it encouragement. Third sentence. Stored. The medical attendant finally reaches me. Dr. Korvask examines the burns on my ribs for approximately 2 seconds. He presses 2 fingers against my mana pulse. His expression becomes bored, still negligible. I noticed. He wipes dragon ash from his glove. You were born with less mana than a dragon's shed scale. Fourth sentence. That one almost makes me smile. Almost. He wraps my ribs with cheap binding cloth and waves me away. No healing spell. Students with contribution credits get those. I get fabric. The academy bell sounds overhead. 3 massive iron rings suspended between the world dragon's ribs begin to vibrate. Training is over. The important students head toward the upper towers. I head down. Weak students do not get the same responsibilities as everyone else. We get the jobs nobody wants: kitchen furnaces, scale scraping, waste disposal, corpse pits. Today, Maylor assigns me to corpse pits. Maybe he thinks it is punishment. Turns out, that might be the first useful thing he has ever done for me. The lower levels of Blackspire are colder than the towers above. That should be impossible considering there is a volcanic basin directly beneath the academy. Yet the deeper I descend, the more frost gathers along the walls. Dragon bones are everywhere. Skulls, vertebrae, wing joints, claws longer than my arm. Most have been stripped clean by academy harvesters. Blackspire sells nearly everything. Dragon bone becomes weapons. Blood becomes alchemy fuel. Cores power defensive barriers. Even marrow gets refined into expensive enhancement tonics. Only the remains with no market value reach the grave furnace. I push open the iron door. Heat should hit me. It does not. Darkness does. Rows of dead dragons fill the chamber. Hundreds of them, maybe more. Juveniles stacked beside adults. Broken wyverns. Poison drakes. Wingless cavern breeds. Bodies with cores removed. Bodies with skulls split open. Bodies reduced to pieces. The furnace at the center of the chamber is completely dark. That seems healthy. My voice echoes. Nothing answers. I step inside. The door slams behind me. I turn immediately. Locked. Of course. A red rune ignites on the metal. Furnace cycle beginning. I stare at it. Someone scheduled an incineration while I am inside. Accident? Possible. Blackspire has many accidents. They just happen to prefer students without influential families. The floor trembles. Flames begin building beneath the corpse platforms. I grab the door handle. Sealed. I kick it. Nothing. I inspect the rune. Military-grade containment. Definitely nothing. Then I hear scratching. Not from the door. From the corpse pile. I turn. A cracked dragon egg lies between 2 dead wyverns. I did not notice it before. Something inside taps against the shell. Once. Twice. 3 times. I move closer. The shell splits. A tiny skull pushes through. I stop. No flesh. No eyes. No scales, just bone. A hatchling wyvern crawls out of an egg that has clearly been dead for months. It is barely the size of my forearm. 1 wing is incomplete. Several ribs are missing. Its tail is nothing but 6 tiny vertebrae. It looks at me with empty sockets. I look back. Well, the flames rise. That is new. The little creature tilts its skull, then every corpse in the room exhales. Not literally. Dead lungs do not work, but something leaves them. Black mist pours from hundreds of dragon bodies, the same black threads I saw in the Ember Drake's blood. They crawl across the floor, up the walls, around my boots. My skin goes numb. The wyvern hatchling lowers its head. A pulse strikes my chest. My vision turns black. For 1 second, I cannot hear anything. Then words appear across my sight. Not inside a floating window. Not projected from a rune. They simply exist in my mind with absolute certainty. A hidden class has recognized a compatible soul, Necromancer. I stop breathing. Another sensation follows. Class synchronization beginning. My mana channels burn. I drop to 1 knee. This is not awakening. Students awaken their combat paths years before entering Blackspire. Mine is called Hollow Channel. The Academy has spent 4 years reminding me how useless it is. No elemental affinity. No reinforcement. No summon capacity. No meaningful mana growth. But the thing spreading through my body now does not feel like mana. It feels cold, heavy, hungry. The message continues inside my skull. Necromancer resource detected soul mass. Current mana requirement for basic death arts, 0. I actually laugh. Once. Quietly. Of course. 4 years of being judged by mana. And my class does not need it. Talk about an absolute joke. The black mist around my feet tightens. A new instinct settles into place. I understand it immediately. Not perfectly. Just enough. When something dies near me, part of its soul does not vanish. I can capture it. Stored soul mass can replace mana for necromantic abilities. Stronger souls provide more mass. Dragon souls provide absurd amounts. I look around the room. Hundreds of stripped dragon corpses stare back. The academy sees garbage. My new class sees ammunition. The furnace ignites. Real heat finally erupts beneath me. The first corpse catches fire. Its remaining soul mist begins dissolving. I reach out without thinking. Come here. The mist changes direction. It slams into my palm. Cold floods my arm. A dead poison drake collapses into gray ash as something far more valuable enters me. The internal message responds. 1 damaged drake soul absorbed. Stored soul mass 12 units. Basic corpse command available. Bone reconstruction available. Curse architecture available. That last phrase catches my attention. Curse architecture. I focus on it. Knowledge unfolds. Not a spell, a mechanism. Necromancer curses are built in layers. A target mark establishes what can be affected. Soul mass determines how deeply the curse penetrates. Death signatures increase efficiency against creatures sharing the same biological and spiritual pattern. The more of one species I absorb, the easier it becomes to kill that species again. And dragons are not separate enough to escape each other. Wyverns. Drakes. True dragons. Ancient breeds. Their bloodlines overlap. Their souls resonate. I look at the mountains of corpses surrounding me. The system responds to the thought. Draconic death signatures detected. Potential species curse available. Current grade incomplete. Projected maximum grade SSS. I go very still. SSS. Blackspire Academy has exactly 3 recorded SSS techniques in its entire history. 2 belong to dead heroes. The third requires 12 master-ranked casters working together. And apparently I have the framework for another one sitting inside my head. There is a catch. Obviously. The curse has no completed structure, no stable target lattice, no sufficient soul mass, no activation vector. I cannot cast it. Not yet. Good. If this class handed me everything immediately, I would assume it was lying. The tiny bone wyvern scratches at my boot. I glance down. Its damaged wing twitches. A thread connects it to me. Thin, fragile, real. First undead recognized. Unhatched draconic juvenile. Reconstruction stability 9%. 9%. Absolutely terrible. I crouch and touch its skull. The creature bumps its forehead against my finger. No fear, no sound. Just instinct. The furnace flames climb higher. We have maybe a minute before the chamber becomes an oven. I turn toward the nearest corpse. A huge iron-jaw drake. No core. Missing both wings. Half its skull shattered. Still useful. I extend my hand. Nothing happens. Right. 12 soul units. I can feel the cost of raising something that large. Far more than 12. I shift my attention. Smaller corpse. Then smaller. A juvenile ash lizard lies beneath the platform. Technically draconic. Technically dead. Technically pathetic. Perfect. I pull its lingering soul into myself. 4 more units. Then another. 3. Another. 5. The process is fast. Painfully fast. Every soul feels like swallowing winter. My fingers lose sensation. Dark veins crawl over my wrist. I do not stop. 20 units. 30. 40. The flames reach the first corpse pile. Smoke fills the chamber. My bone hatchling crawls onto my shoulder and hooks tiny claws into my ruined coat. I absorb another soul. Then another. A pattern begins forming inside my mind. Every dragon soul leaves behind a tiny imprint. A death signature. 1 means almost nothing. 10 create recognition. 100 might create vulnerability. 1,000 I do not know. The class gives no answer. That is fine. I can test it myself. A heavy impact shakes the chamber. Part of the corpse pile collapses. Something enormous rolls free. A dragon's skull. Ancient. Black. Covered in academy extraction marks. One horn remains intact. The moment it touches the floor, every death signature inside me reacts. My bone hatchling freezes, then lowers its head. Not fear, recognition. Interesting. I walk toward the skull. There is an engraved Academy brand beneath its jaw. Property of Black Spire. Restricted specimen. Do not disturb. I place my palm against it. Cold explodes through the room. The furnace flames turn blue. The ancient skull opens its empty eyes, and somewhere inside that impossible darkness, something looks back at me. A final message carves itself across my thoughts. High-density draconic soul fragment detected. Absorption may permanently alter curse architecture. I hear footsteps outside the locked furnace door. Someone is coming. Maybe to check whether I burned. Maybe to make sure. The bone hatchling tightens its claws around my shoulder. I think about Sarek smiling behind the barrier. If you survive, at least try not to lower the class average. I think about Maelor watching the dragon tear me apart. Weak things are useful when they die in the right place. Lysra's metal stylus tapping the ledger. A corpse doesn't earn contribution points. Korvask wiping ash from his glove. You were born with less mana than a dragon's shed scale. 4 sentences. 4 people. Stored carefully, I look at the ancient dragon skull beneath my hand. Then at the mountains of corpses Blackspire has been feeding into this furnace for decades. The Academy built its entire power on killing dragons. It measures status in dragon cores. It buys influence with dragon blood. It trains students to hunt them. It throws away everything it cannot sell. And now every discarded death in this chamber belongs to the one student nobody bothers watching. Me. I smile. The expression feels unfamiliar. The smile does not reach my eyes. Good. I press my palm harder against the ancient skull and begin absorbing the dragon. The ancient dragon does not want to die twice. The instant I begin pulling on its soul fragment, something pulls back. Hard. My arm locks. Cold shoots from my palm to my shoulder, and suddenly I am no longer standing inside Blackspire's grave furnace. I am falling. Not physically. My knees are still pressed against the stone. My hand is still touching the skull. But my mind drops through an ocean of black pressure so enormous that every instinct I have screams at me to let go. I do not. That would waste the opportunity. The dragon soul twists. Images slam into me. Clouds beneath enormous wings. Cities burning. Chains. Spears. A white tower collapsing beneath claws black enough to swallow sunlight. Then a roar hits my skull from the inside. My nose starts bleeding. Wonderful. Apparently even dead dragons are arrogant. I tighten my grip. The Necromancer class reacts instantly. Soul absorption resistance detected. Conversion efficiency reduced. Current stored soul mass 43 units. Required stabilization reserve 20 units. Maximum safe extraction currently unknown. Unknown. That word matters more than everything else. I cannot simply drain this thing until nothing remains. At least, not unless I want to discover what happens when a hidden class considers something unsafe. Usually those discoveries involve funerals. I reduce the pull. The pressure drops. Good. So absorption has intensity. That means I can control rate. I test the smallest amount I can manage. A thin strand of black mist leaves the dragon skull and enters my wrist. The internal count changes. 44. 1 unit. No pain. I pull again. 45. Again. 46. Each unit takes roughly 1 heartbeat. The dragon resists every time, but the resistance remains stable. I increase the pull. 3 strands tear free at once. 49. Pain stabs behind my left eye. Noted. I try 5. The skull jerks beneath my hand. A crack races through the floor. My vision briefly turns red. Stored soul mass 54 units. Neural strain detected. That sounds inconvenient. I immediately stop. The skull goes silent. My breathing does not. 5 units at once causes strain. 3 hurts. 1 is clean. Useful. I wipe the blood from my nose. Then I hear the footsteps outside the furnace. Closer now. Metal scrapes against metal. Someone touches the outer locking wheel. I glance toward the door. The furnace cycle is still active. Blue flames churn beneath the corpse racks. From outside, this chamber should look completely operational, which means whoever locked me inside either expects to find ashes later or does not care enough to check now. The wheel turns halfway. Stops. A voice mutters through the iron, cycle pressure normal. Another voice answers from farther away. Leave it. The footsteps retreat. I wait. 10 heartbeats. 20. Nothing. Good. Still alone. I look down at the little bone wyvern on my shoulder. Its empty sockets remain fixed on the ancient skull. You heard that? It taps one claw against my collarbone. I stare at it. The creature taps again. Once, then twice. Not random. Maybe. I raise one finger. 1. It taps once. I raise 2. It taps twice. I pause. The hatchling tilts its skull. Interesting. Undead intelligence is apparently higher than Academy estimates. Admittedly, Academy estimates do not include undead dragons sitting on my shoulder. I turn back to the ancient skull. First problem. Resources. Second problem. Abilities. Third problem. How quickly this class can kill me if I use either incorrectly. I decide to solve them in that order. There are hundreds of dragon corpses around me. Most are burning. I cannot save all of them. So I stop thinking like a student and start thinking like someone being handed free inventory. I move to the nearest corpse rack. 3 dead ash drakes lie on the bottom tier. I place my hand against the first. Soul extraction. The black mist comes easily. 8 units. The second gives 6. The third gives 11. My stored soul mass rises from 54 to 79. Different corpses. Different yields. I inspect them. The one worth 6 is badly processed. Core removed. Spinal marrow drained. Skull opened. The one worth 11 still has its ribcage intact. So physical completeness might correlate with soul retention. Might. I need more data. I move quickly. A juvenile frost wyvern gives 14. A gutted cavern drake gives 5. A wingless ember serpent gives 9. A half-cremated storm hatchling gives only 2. Stored soul mass reaches 109. The class responds. Soul reservoir threshold reached. Basic reservoir stabilized. Maximum accessible storage 120 units. There. A limit. Finally. I absorb from another corpse. 114. Another. 119. I try again. The mist enters my hand. My chest tightens. 120. The remaining soul energy refuses to move, so the reservoir is hard-capped, at least for now. I cannot stockpile infinitely. Good to know before trying something stupid in combat. The bone wyvern climbs from my shoulder onto the corpse rack. It sniffs at a dead dragon. No nose. Still does it. Then it scratches 3 times beside the corpse's throat. I look closer. A small black knot sits beneath the scales. Soul residue. Hidden from my first glance. I touch it. 7 units try to enter me. The reservoir rejects them. I raise an eyebrow. The hatchling found a denser fragment on its own. That useful little habit might keep you around. Its tail rattles against the iron rack. I cannot tell if that is pride. Probably not. Still amusing. Now abilities. The class gives me 3 basic structures. Corpse Command, Bone Reconstruction, Curse Architecture. Corpse Command feels sample. Spend Soul Mass. Impose Motion. The cost depends on how much dead material I animate and how complex the order becomes. I choose the smallest corpse available, a dead razor lizard. 4 legs, 1 jaw, maybe 15 kilograms. I point at it. Stand. Something leaves my chest. The reservoir drops. 120 to 116. 4 units. The lizard's bones jerk. Its dead muscles contract. It stands. Badly. 1 hind leg bends backward. I stare. It stares back with cloudy eyes. Walk. No additional cost. The corpse limps forward. So initial animation costs soul mass. Basic continuing commands do not. That is absurdly useful. I point left. It turns left. Right. It turns right. Attack that. I indicate a loose femur on the ground. The lizard pounces. Its jaw closes around the bone. No cost. I make the order more complicated. Circle the furnace twice. Avoid open flames. Then return here. The corpse freezes. A cold pressure gathers behind my eyes. Soul mass drops from 116 to 114. 2 extra units. The lizard starts moving. There it is. Complexity cost. The initial 4 units animate the body. A layered command costs more. I wait. The lizard circles the furnace, avoids the flames, returns. It stops in front of me. I change the order. Protect me until destroyed. Nothing leaves the reservoir. Apparently, persistent intent can replace repeated instructions if the command is simple enough. Very useful. I test a larger body next. A dead ember drake, roughly 300 kilograms. I command it to stand. The reservoir drops by 24 units, 114 to 90, 6 times the cost of the razor lizard. Not exactly proportional to body mass. Maybe soul structure matters. Maybe species tier. Maybe remaining tissue. I do not know yet. I order the ember drake to strike the wall. It charges. Its skull smashes into stone. The impact cracks the masonry. No extra cost. I order it to feint left, strike right, then retreat behind me. 3 units disappear. 87. So command complexity scales separately from animation. That means using undead intelligently can become expensive even if keeping them active costs nothing. Important. An army of simple killers is cheap. An army performing intricate battlefield maneuvers might drain me dry. The distinction is brutal. And useful. I dismiss the razor lizard. Its body collapses. 1 unit returns. Only 1. I frown. 4 spent. 1 recovered. 75% lost. I dismiss the ember drake. 6 units return from the original 24. Same ratio. So dismissal refunds 1/4 of the base animation investment. Complexity costs are gone permanently. No refunds there. Fair enough. Hidden class does not mean charity. Next. Bone reconstruction. The little wyvern immediately looks at me, or appears to. Its broken wing hangs crooked against its spine. 9% reconstruction stability. I crouch. If this kills you, that is going to be extremely embarrassing for both of us. It taps my knee once. I choose to interpret that as consent. The skill feels different. Corpse command moves death. Bone reconstruction edits it. I focus on the missing ribs first. The class shows me no neat diagram. Just instinct. Bone requires material. Soul mass provides binding energy. Existing compatible bone reduces cost. I pick up a small dragon phalanx from the floor, too large. I take a thinner bone fragment. I hold it beside the hatchling's missing ribs. Reconstruct. 5 units vanish. The loose bone liquefies, not into blood, into pale dust. The dust coils around the hatchling's chest. Tiny ribs grow where none existed. The creature shudders. Its claws scratch the floor. Then it stands straighter. Reconstruction stability 14%. 5 soul units. 5 percentage points. Tempting. But I already know better than to assume the ratio stays constant. I try the damaged wing. There is enough original bone left to use as a frame. I gather 3 fragments from another juvenile wyvern. Reconstruct. 10 units vanish. The pieces dissolve. The hatchling's wing lengthens. A new joint forms. Thin bone fingers extend where the membrane should be. No flesh appears. Just structure. Stability rises from 14% to 22. 8 percentage points for 10 units. Less efficient, because the wing is more complex. Makes sense. The hatchling spreads it. The skeletal wing is still too small for flight, but it no longer drags. Then something unexpected happens. A faint line of blue fire appears between 2 wing bones. I freeze. The flame lasts less than a second. Gone. I did not cause that. Neither did the reconstruction skill. The hatchling looks at its wing. Then at me. I look back. That was definitely not supposed to happen. A subtle response moves through the soul link. Not words. Hunger. Then an image. Blue flame. The ancient skull. Blue flame again. I turn slowly toward the massive black remains behind me. The hatchling reacted when I touched that soul. Now its reconstructed wing produces the same blue fire surrounding the skull, so companion evolution can be influenced by absorbed soul signatures. Maybe. One observation is not proof, but it is enough to remember. I do not feed it more. Not until I understand the risk. Curse architecture comes last. This is the dangerous one. I feel that immediately. A curse is not simply an attack. It is a condition tied to a target. Target. Rule. Trigger. Effect. Cost. 5 parts. Remove 1, and the structure collapses. I choose the reanimated razor lizard. Technically draconic. Small enough not to matter. I rebuild the simplest curse I can imagine. Target this individual corpse. Rule draconic signature. Trigger my command. Effect movement reduction. Cost minimal. The class accepts the structure. Soul mass required 3 units. I activate it. Black veins spread across the razor lizard's legs. Walk. It moves. Slowly. Approximately half speed. The curse persists. No continuing soul drain. Excellent, I cancel it. No refund. Also expected. Now I widen the target. All razor lizards. The required cost jumps. 3 units becomes 19. I do not cast. I widen further. All draconic creatures. The structure trembles. The cost is not shown as a number. Instead, I get one very simple answer. Insufficient death signatures. There it is. The second resource. Soul mass powers the curse. Death signatures define it. Killing or absorbing a creature gives me knowledge of how its soul is constructed. More matching deaths mean a cleaner target pattern. A cleaner pattern means a broader or deadlier curse becomes possible. I count what I have absorbed. 11 Ash Drake signatures, 4 Ember types, 3 Frost Wyverns, 2 Cavern breeds, 1 Storm variant, fragments from several others. Not enough, not remotely. I focus on the unfinished species curse. The structure opens in my mind again. Draconic target lattice, triple S potential. Activation impossible. I push for more information. How many signatures? No answer. How much soul mass? No answer. How many targets? No answer. I push harder. Pain spikes behind my eyes. The class gives me only 1 new fragment. Curse lethality increases with confirmed draconic deaths incorporated into the lattice. I stop. That is all I get. So I know the mechanism, not the ceiling. The class is not giving me a future. It is giving me tools. That is better. Tools can be tested. The ancient skull waits behind me. Its remaining soul fragment is still enormous. I return to it. My current reservoir is low after testing. I count. 48 units. Enough. I place my hand against the black bone. This time I do not pull blindly. 1 unit per heartbeat. Slow, controlled. The dragon resists. I hold. 49. 50. 51. The little wyvern approaches. Its claws click against the stone. 52. Blue light appears inside its empty eye sockets. I stop immediately. The light remains. Its incomplete wing unfolds. A thin blue flame stretches between the bones again. Longer this time. The soul link changes. Something new enters it. Direction. Not language. Not thought. Direction. The hatchling turns its skull toward a mountain of corpses on the eastern rack. I follow its gaze. At first I see nothing. Then black mist leaks from beneath the pile. Dense. Much denser than the others. I move closer. The hatchling follows. We pull aside a burned wyvern, then another. Under them lies a severed dragon head covered in silver scales. Academy markings have been deliberately scraped away. No inventory brand, no extraction number, no disposal tag. Someone hid this corpse. Interesting. I touch the silver scales. The Necromancer class reacts so violently I nearly jerk my hand back. Dragon soul detected. Classification high sovereign strain. Death signature compatibility with unfinished curse architecture exceptional. I stare at the corpse, then toward the sealed furnace door. Someone inside Blackspire is disposing of valuable dragon remains without records. That is not waste. That is evidence, and my new class wants it. The bone wyvern scratches the floor once. I look down. Blue fire flickers across its reconstructed wing. 22% stability. Still weak, still incomplete. But it found something I missed. I place my palm against the silver dragon's skull. This time I smile before I start. I came down here to burn corpses. Instead, I now know exactly how my power works. Soul mass is fuel. Death signatures are targeting data. Corpse command converts fuel into soldiers. Bone reconstruction converts it into better bodies. Curse architecture turns accumulated deaths into rules that can be imposed on the living. And somewhere at the end of that last mechanism waits a triple S curse designed specifically for dragons. I still do not know how much it costs. I do not know how many signatures it needs. I do not know whether my reservoir can ever hold enough soul mass to activate it. I do not even know what happens if I try to curse something vastly stronger than me. Good. Unknown variables keep idiots cautious. The Academy believes I have almost no mana. That part remains completely true. It simply stopped mattering. I begin extracting the hidden sovereign dragon's soul 1 unit at a time. And for the first time since entering Blackspire, I have no interest in becoming stronger than the students above me. That target is embarrassingly small. I want to know how many dragon deaths it takes before the unfinished curse stops calling itself incomplete. The hidden sovereign dragon gives me exactly 87 soul units before something inside its skull tries to bite me. Not metaphorically. A phantom jaw snaps shut around my wrist. I cut the absorption immediately. The pressure disappears. My hand remains attached. Good outcome. I flex my fingers and inspect the silver dragon head. The corpse does not move. Its soul does. That distinction is becoming increasingly important. The little bone wyvern stands beside me with blue fire glowing faintly between the bones of its repaired wing. I tap the silver skull. Apparently this one still has opinions. The hatchling leans forward and bites the dragon's nose. Its tiny teeth accomplish absolutely nothing. I stare at it. It bites again. Savage. Its tail clicks against the floor. The soul link carries something warm. Satisfaction, maybe. Interesting. I return my attention to the numbers. Before touching the sovereign strain, my reservoir holds 52 soul units. I extract 68 safely. That should bring me above my maximum of 120. Instead, the moment I reach the cap, the remaining energy begins compressing, not overflowing, compressing. Cold gathers behind my sternum. The internal structure of the reservoir contracts around itself like a fist. Then it expands. Soul reservoir reinforced. Maximum accessible storage, 240 units. Current stored soul mass 127 units. I stay still. So the reservoir itself can evolve. That matters. I do not know whether reinforcement is triggered by total absorption, higher quality souls, repeated saturation, or the sovereign strain specifically. I need more tests. Later. The furnace alarms suddenly stop. Silence fills the chamber. The incineration cycle is ending. Which means I have a limited amount of time before someone opens the door and discovers that the weakest student in Blackspire is standing among several corpses that should have been reduced to ash. I begin cleaning, not magically, carefully. That matters too. I dismiss the animated razor lizard completely. Its remaining bones go into the furnace trench. The ember drake follows. I scatter ash across the places where soul mist collected. I drag 3 partially burned corpses over the silver sovereign head until nothing metallic remains visible. Then I kneel beside the ancient black skull. The one marked restricted. I cannot carry it. I cannot leave it exposed. So I do something better. I break one of its remaining teeth free. It takes 6 strikes with a furnace hammer. Each impact makes the little bone wyvern flinch. The 7th cracks the root. The tooth comes loose. It is longer than my forearm. I wrap it in burned disposal cloth and slide it inside the maintenance shaft beneath the western furnace rail. Hidden. Accessible. Unremarkable. The skull itself stays where the Academy expects it. I remove nothing else. A thief creates missing inventory. A scavenger creates patterns. I prefer neither. The locking wheel turns. I am already holding a shovel when the door opens. Heat rolls outward. A furnace attendant looks inside. He sees smoke. Ash. Burned carcasses. And me, blackened from head to toe. His eyebrows rise. You survived? I lean on the shovel. Disappointing, I know, he snorts. Cycle malfunction? I point toward the blue residue around the lower vents. Temperature instability. Technically true. He glances once. That is enough. Blackspire employees see what their forms tell them to see. The furnace was scheduled. The corpse is burned. The weak student assigned to clean up did not matter. Nothing unusual happened. He waves me out. I walk past him with my bone wyvern hidden beneath my coat. The little creature folds itself against my ribs. Sharp vertebrae dig into the bandages around my wounds. Painful. Still preferable to explaining why I am carrying an undead dragon through Academy corridors. I climb 2 levels. Turn east. Wait beside a steam pipe. 3 attendants pass. Then I descend through a servant stairwell no combat student uses. Blackspire is enormous above ground. Below ground, it is ridiculous. The Academy's 6 towers are connected by bridges, elevators, dragon lifts, maintenance shafts, blood channels, waste tunnels. furnace ducts, and sealed remnants of whatever civilization carved chambers into the world dragon's bones before Blackspire existed. Students learn the towers. Workers learn the tunnels. Weak students learn both. That is another advantage nobody meant to give me. I reach an abandoned marrow processing room beneath the eastern dormitory. The academy stopped using it 12 years ago after a pressure explosion killed 6 workers. Nobody renovated it. Nobody sealed it properly either. Perfect. I closed the corroded door behind me. The room contains 3 stone vats, a broken extraction press, 2 drainage channels, 1 rusted ventilation shaft leading directly toward the corpse furnaces, and enough old dragon bone dust in the walls to hide necromantic residue from ordinary mana detection. I know that last part because the moment I step inside, the class stops tightening defensively around my soul. This place feels quiet, hidden, mine. I take the bone wyvern from beneath my coat. It immediately jumps onto the extraction press. 1 repaired wing spreads. Blue flame flickers. The other remains broken. Uneven. Ugly. Functional enough. Time for an improvement. It tilts its skull. I retrieve the sovereign dragon tooth from inside my coat. Not the ancient black one. A smaller shard I chipped from the silver corpse before covering it. I save 12 centimeters of fang. The moment the hatchling sees it, the blue fire in its wing intensifies. There. Confirmation. The sovereign signature is affecting it. I place the fang beside its damaged forelimb. Bone reconstruction responds. Compatible draconic material detected. Soul binding requirement 18 units. Structural adaptation possible. Not restoration. Adaptation. That sounds more interesting. I activate it. The fang disintegrates. Silver dust wraps around the hatchling's right foreleg. Its tiny claws extend, then fuse. 3 digits become 1 narrow curved talon almost as long as its entire limb. The bone darkens from white to metallic gray. Blue flame runs along the edge. The hatchling jerks backward. The soul link pulses sharply. Pain. I almost stop. Then the pulse changes. Aggression. It slashes the extraction press. Metal screams. A clean groove appears across the rusted plate. I look at the mark, then at the creature. Absolutely unnecessary. It strikes again. A second groove crosses the first. Apparently, criticism is not effective. Its reconstruction stability rises from 22% to 31%. New structural trait recognized sovereign talon. Not a skill, a trait. Good. That means the weapon belongs to its body rather than relying on my active soul mass. I point toward a discarded dragon vertebra near the wall. Cut. The hatchling launches itself. Not gracefully. Its repaired wing gives 1 awkward beat, enough to extend the jump. The silver talon flashes. The vertebra splits. 1 strike. No soul mass spent. I smile. That stays. It lands badly, tumbles twice, then immediately stands as though nothing happened. I decide not to insult its dignity. Next comes growth. I spend the following 6 nights below Blackspire. Not all at once. That would be noticeable. During the day, I attend lectures. I fail mana projection drills exactly as expected. I score near the bottom in elemental control because I have no element. I carry equipment for stronger students during field exercises. I let Sarek watch me struggle to lift a training spear with my injured ribs. He laughs. I make sure he sees it. At night, I work. The furnace schedule becomes my hunting calendar. On the first night, I absorb the remnants of 31 low-grade drakes. My reservoir fills to 240. I spend 86 soul units, animating 6 complete corpses, 2 ash drakes, 3 razor lizards, 1 frost wyvern. I move them through the abandoned drainage tunnel. Simple commands. Follow, hide, attack intruders. No complicated tactics. Cheap. On the second night, I absorb 44 more death signatures. My reservoir reinforces again. Maximum storage becomes 360 units. I cannot prove why. The increase happens after absorbing a frost matriarch whose soul density is almost 4 times that of a juvenile. Quality appears to matter. Appears. I keep the conclusion provisional. I raise 9 more undead. My total becomes 15. On the third night, I test command distance. 10 meters. Perfect. 50. Perfect. 100. Slight delay. 300. The soul link weakens. At 412 meters, the command fails completely. I mark the distance on the tunnel wall with chalk. I do not guess. I measure. The next night, I test whether a chain of undead extends control range. It does not. Then whether an elite-grade corpse can relay orders. Not yet. Useful failure. By the fifth night, I control 28 undead. Most are pathetic. That is fine. An army does not begin as an army. It begins as inventory nobody else values. The bone wyvern becomes the exception. It hunts soul residue for me. It detects concentrated death signatures behind walls. It identifies 2 corpses whose cores were supposedly removed but still contain fragments. And every time I finish a harvesting cycle, it scratches a mark into the side of the extraction press. 1 mark per night. 6 marks now. It does this without being told. I stop pretending it has no personality. Then I begin building the lie. Not thinking about it, building it. The first piece is my academy coat. I take the sleeve torn by the ember drake during the bridge exercise. I soak it in diluted dragon blood, not fresh blood, old blood, low grade. The kind found around failed training kills. I tear the fabric around the existing claw marks, then I burn the edges. Next comes a broken practice blade. I snap it near the hilt. I scrape the metal against an ash drake's teeth. I smear my own blood on the grip. Not much. Enough. The third piece is a corpse. I choose one of my worst undead. A juvenile cavern drake with a collapsed chest and almost no combat value. I remove my command completely. The body dies again. Then I curse it. Target individual corpse. Trigger external mana inspection. Effect release residual necromantic contamination. Cost 12 soul units. I test the curse twice with a weak mana pulse. The first time, nothing happens. I adjust the trigger sensitivity. The second time, black residue leaks from the corpse's mouth. Exactly enough to look significant. Not enough to identify me. Then I drag the body through a drainage tunnel leading toward the Academy's western hunting grounds. I leave claw marks along the stone. I break 1 maintenance grate. I drop the torn sleeve beneath it. 20 meters farther, I leave the practice blade wedged between 2 rocks. The blood on the hilt is still wet. Mine. At the end of the tunnel, I place the cursed dragon corpse beside an old smuggling exit used by poachers before Blackspire expanded the walls. Then I do the most important part. I erase my own path. The bone wyvern watches me brush ash backward over my footprints. I replace disturbed stones. I wipe the tunnel wall where my shoulder touched it. I carry loose debris from another passage and scatter it near the exit. When I finish, the scene tells a simple story. A weak student enters the western grounds. A dragon attacks. The student loses his weapon. The creature drags him toward an old tunnel. Necromantic contamination appears near the corpse. Something dangerous may be operating outside Academy control, and if anyone checks the blood on the weapon, it leads directly to me. Not because I made a mistake, because the lie needs one truth inside it. I return to the dormitory before sunrise. My bed is empty. I climb inside. 2 minutes later, the morning bell rings. Perfect. At breakfast, nobody looks at me. Better. During first combat theory, Maelor Fen walks into the classroom without warning. Conversation dies instantly. His eyes move across the students, then stop on me. Nyren. I look up. He tosses something onto my desk. My broken practice blade. Sarek turns around. Several students stare. Maelor's expression is flat. Where did you lose this? I let confusion reach my face slowly. Not too slowly. The Western training grounds. When? I touch the bandage under my uniform. After the bridge exercise. Why were you there? I hesitate. Real embarrassment is easy to imitate when everyone already expects it. I thought I could find a low-grade carcass and claim enough salvage credit to pay for healing. Laughter moves through the room. Sarek does not even try to hide his. Maelor watches me, then places the torn sleeve beside the blade. You found something else. I say nothing. His eyes sharpen. Good. Silence makes frightened people look guilty. He leans closer. Did you see black mist? I let my fingers tighten around the edge of the desk. Just once. Maelor notices. Of course he does. No. Lie. Too quick. Deliberately. He straightens. Sarek grins. Maelor does not. For the first time since I met him, the Roostmaster looks interested in me. Not because he thinks I am dangerous, because he thinks I accidentally saw something valuable. Exactly what I need. Come to my office after evening bell. He takes the blade, leaves the sleeve, then walks out. The classroom erupts the moment the door closes. Questions, mockery, speculation. I ignore all of it. Under my desk, something scratches faintly inside my satchel. The bone wyvern. I press one finger against the leather. Still, it stops instantly. Good creature. Across the room, Sarek is whispering to two members of his squad. I cannot hear every word. I do not need to. I catch 3. Hidden dragon, illegal hunt, reward. His eyes flick toward me. Greedy, predictable. The bait has not even reached Maylor's office yet, and Sarek is already biting. I lower my eyes to the torn sleeve on my desk. 6 nights. 75 absorbed dragon death signatures. 28 controlled undead. A soul reservoir of 360 units. 1 hidden base beneath the academy. 1 bone wyvern with a sovereign talon capable of cutting dragon vertebrae in a single strike. And now 1 lie convincing enough that the people above me are beginning to move exactly where I want them. I fold the torn sleeve. Put it away. Then I spend the rest of class pretending I am afraid of whatever is waiting beneath the western hunting grounds. That part is easy. Everyone already knows exactly how weak I am. Maylor Fenn's office has 7 dragon heads mounted on the walls. Only 6 are dead. I notice the 7th because it blinks. Slowly. Once. The preserved black drake head above Maylor's desk follows me with 1 amber eye while I stand in front of him. Interesting decoration. Also completely insane. Maylor folds his hands. You saw something beneath the western grounds. No. He watches me. I watch him back. The living dragon head exhales faint smoke. Maylor taps 1 finger against a folder. My name is written across the cover. Nyren Vale. Hollow Channel. Lowest mana capacity in 4th year combat division. No noble sponsor. No guild contract. No family protection. People become surprisingly brave when a file tells them someone has nobody important behind them. Maylor opens it. Your answer would be more convincing if your blood had not been found beside necromantic residue. I lower my gaze. Then I suppose I saw something. Describe it. I let silence stretch. Not enough to look defiant. Enough to look frightened. Black mist. From what? A dragon corpse. His expression barely changes. His pulse does. A vein moves once beneath his jaw. Useful. What kind? I don't know. You study draconic anatomy. I fail draconic anatomy. That is because you sleep during lectures. I sleep because the lectures are about killing dragons with mana. The preserved head blinks again. Maylor's eyes narrow. I probably should stop entertaining myself. He turns the folder around. A map lies beneath it. Western hunting grounds. Old smuggling tunnels. The abandoned exit where I planted the corpse is already marked in red. He found it quickly. Faster than expected. That means he already knew the tunnels mattered. Even better. There have been 3 unauthorized corpse thefts this month, he says. I keep my face blank. That is new information. Someone has been removing dragon remains before they reach academy inventory. So? So the contamination you found may belong to the thief. There it is. My lie has attached itself to a real crime. Talk about convenient. Maylor slides a metal token across the desk. Tomorrow morning you will guide a recovery team to the site. I look at the token. Black Spire field authorization. Bronze tier. I'm not a tracker. You found the trail. By almost dying. You are experienced at that. Fair. I pick up the token. Who is on the team? Maylor's mouth curves. That is the first warning. Sarek Vorn volunteered. Of course he did. And? 3 members of his lance unit. 4 combat elites. 1 useless guide. A suspicious corpse. A tunnel. This would be a terrible situation if I had not built most of it myself. Maylor leans back. If you see black mist again, do not touch it. Why? His eyes turn cold. Because I told you not to. Not an answer, which makes it better than 1. I leave his office. The moment the door closes, I hear Sarek's voice from the corridor. So the rat really did find something. He is leaning against a bone pillar. 3 students stand behind him. Tavian Rusk, Heavy Shield Specialist. Mira Solvin, Wind Archer. Jace Orin, Flame Lancer, all top 20. All wealthy enough to heal injuries that would put me in bed for a month. Sarek steps toward me. You're guiding us tomorrow. So I hear. You stay behind us. Gladly. You touch nothing. Even more gladly. He grips my shoulder. Hard. Whatever is down there belongs to the squad. I look at his hand, then at him. If you survive, at least try not to lower the class average. His smile disappears. I smile instead. Small. Harmless. Just remembering your advice. He shoves me into the pillar. My back hits bone. Pain flashes through my ribs. I let myself stumble. Mira laughs. Sarek walks away. Perfect. The next morning, I arrive early. Not at the meeting point. Below it. My undead already wait inside the maintenance tunnels. 28 became 34 overnight. I add 6 more low-grade bodies after another furnace cycle. 4 razor lizards. 1 wingless ash drake. 1 juvenile stone wyvern. The strongest remains the frost wyvern I raised during my first week. Its body is damaged but mostly complete. I reinforce its spine with spare dragon bone. Cost 21 soul units. Its movement becomes cleaner. Still not elite. Close. I position the army in 3 groups. Not because I intend to use them all, because I intend not to. That difference keeps me alive. Group 1 hides behind the eastern drainage wall. 12 bodies. Group 2 waits near the furnace conduit. 9. Group 3 stays beneath my abandoned marrow room. 13. Reserve. The bone wyvern sits on my shoulder. Its sovereign talon gleams silver. Blue fire pulses faintly between the bones of one wing. I touch its skull. Stay hidden until I call. The soul link answers with irritation. It hates the satchel now. Understandable. I put it inside anyway. Then I climb back to the surface. Sarek is waiting. You're late. I look at the academy bell. It rings. Exactly on time. No. He scowls. We enter the western grounds. The academy maintains artificial hunting zones between the world dragon's outer ribs. This one resembles a dead forest. Black trees grow from volcanic soil. Bone bridges cross sulfur vents. Containment pylons keep wild dragons from entering the student paths. Usually. Today, 3 pylons are dark. I did not do that. I stop. Sarek notices. What? I stare at the nearest pylon. Its crystal core is missing. Not broken. Removed. Mira walks closer. That wasn't in the report. No, it was not. Someone else is here. My plan changes immediately. I planned for Sarek to discover the planted corpse. I planned for Malor's investigators to follow the false trail into the old tunnel network. I planned to remain irrelevant. 3 disabled containment pylons were never part of it. I file away the difference. No panic. Just recalculation. Tavian, Sarek says. Front. The shield specialist moves ahead. Jace ignites his spear. Mira draws an arrow. Sarek looks at me. Stay in the middle. For once, that is actually good advice. We reach the broken maintenance grate. My planted blood is still visible. My footprints are not. Sarek crouches. Something dragged a body through here. Yes. Very observant. We enter. The tunnel narrows. 20 meters. Practice blade location. Empty. Malor took it. 40 meters. Scrape marks. Still intact. 60 meters. The first place, my plan breaks completely. The cursed cavern drake is gone. I stop. Sarek turns. Where is it? I do not answer. There is fresh blood on the stone, not mine. Not old, fresh. A drop falls from the ceiling. Tavian looks up. Something grabs him. Fast. His body slams into the ceiling. He screams. A pale limb folds around his chest. Then another. Then 6 more. The creature unfolds from a cavity above us. Dragon. No. Too many joints. Too little skin. Its body is almost 12 meters long, but it has been stitched together from multiple draconic species. Frost wyvern wings. Ironjaw forelimbs. Ember glands along the throat. 3 tails. A skull carved with black runes. Someone made this. Not me. The stitched dragon bites down. Tavian's shield erupts. Golden mana forms a dome around him. The creature crushes it. Sarek moves instantly. His spear becomes silver lightning. Break! The thrust punches through the monster's shoulder. Black blood sprays. Mira releases 3 arrows. Wind spirals around them. 2 strike the eyes. The third buries itself in the throat. Jace sends a flame arc into its ribs. The tunnel explodes with heat. The creature screams. Then all 3 attacks stop mattering. Its wounds close. Not slowly. Immediately. Flesh crawls across exposed bone. The arrows fall out. Sarik's face changes. Just slightly. What the hell is that? The stitched dragon drops Tavian. Then hits us. Its tail sweeps the tunnel. Sarik blocks. Jace ducks. Mira gets thrown into the wall. I take the edge of the strike across my chest. My feet leave the ground. I hit stone. Hard. Something snaps inside my already injured ribs. There it is. Stage 1. Take the hit. Not because I want to. Because apparently the universe enjoys consistency. The stitched dragon charges Sarik. He meets it head-on. Silver spear against black claws. For 3 exchanges, Sarik actually wins. His technique is excellent. I hate admitting it. He pierces the throat, splits a foreleg, cuts one tail halfway through. Every injury regenerates. Tavian rises and plants his shield. The monster smashes through it. Jace launches a full flame burst. The dragon absorbs part of the fire through the ember gland stitched into its neck, then spits it back. Jace screams as his own flames wash over him. Mira drags him behind a rock. Sarik retreats. First time I have ever seen that. Nyrin. I push myself upright. Blood fills my mouth. Yes? Do something. That almost makes me laugh. What? Anything? Interesting how quickly standards change. The monster lunges again. I run. Not away. Sideways, I need to see. Stage 2. Read the enemy. Its regeneration is too fast for natural draconic biology. Black runes activate every time tissue closes. The runes are distributed across the body, 9 visible, probably more beneath the hide. Not healing. Reconstruction. Something is feeding it. I watch the black lines. Every time a wound closes, energy travels toward the sternum, not away. That seems backward. If the sternum were the power source, energy should leave it. Instead, the runes send something into it. Collection, not supply. I duck beneath a claw. The strike tears my coat. Again. I am running out of coat. Sarik pierces the creature's neck. The wound closes. Black energy flows into the chest. I see it. A pulse. A response. The creature becomes slightly faster. Of course. Damage is strengthening it. Every attack feeds some kind of adaptive core. Sarik is not wearing it down. He is upgrading it. Stop attacking. Nobody listens. Mira fires. The arrow explodes against the ribs. The stitched dragon grows a line of hardened plates where the blast lands. Yeah, that is exactly how bad it is. I grab Mira's wrist before she draws again. She nearly punches me. What are you doing? Stop feeding it. What? Sarik thrusts again. The monster catches his spear. Its claw closes around the shaft. Silver mana crackles. The dragon absorbs it. A new strip of metallic scales spreads along its forearm. Now Sarik sees it. His face goes pale. What did it do? Learned. The creature roars. The tunnel shakes. Behind its sternum, something beats. Not a heart. A container. Every black rune sends accumulated combat signatures into it. I can feel death around the thing. Multiple deaths. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Dragon parts stitched together from corpses. Soul fragments trapped inside. That means one thing. Necromancy. Crude. Violent. External. Whoever built it is using a mechanism close enough to mine that my class can recognize the structure. A necromantic curse pattern appears in my awareness. Not one I possess. One I can read. The regeneration has a rule. Damage received becomes adaptation. So I stop thinking about damage. I need to weaken the rule itself. Curse architecture responds. Target stitched draconic construct. Rule regeneration lattice. Trigger accumulated adaptation. Effect I hesitate. The obvious choice is disable healing. Too expensive. The class gives me a cost of 180 soul units. I currently carry 211. Possible. Wasteful. I change the effect. Not disable. Delay. Cost falls to 62. Better. But I need something more useful later. Something scalable. Something worth learning now. I stare at the black runes. Everyone carries a beneficial adaptation effect. Buffs. Regeneration. Resistance. Strength. Speed. What happens if I do not destroy those buffs? What happens if I steal them? The thought fits into curse architecture with terrifying ease. Target 1 active enhancement. Rule necromantic ownership. Trigger contact through soul link. Effect transfer positive status from target to designated undead. Cost 48 units. A new structure stabilizes. Buff theft. Incomplete. Single effect only. Short range. 1 transfer. Excellent. I cast it. Cold tears through my chest. 48 soul units vanish. Black threads burst from my fingers. Nobody sees them. Not clearly. They move through the shadow between me and the dragon. 1 thread touches the regeneration rune on its left shoulder, then snaps backward. The stitched dragon convulses. A chunk of its shoulder fails to regenerate. Inside my satchel, the bone wyvern goes completely still, then blue fire erupts through the leather. I pull the flap open. The hatchling climbs out. Mira stares. What is that? Bad timing. The bone wyvern's missing flesh does not return, but the stolen regeneration buff attaches to its reconstruction instead. Its damaged wing grows, not flesh, bone. 3 new struts burst outward. Its stability jumps from 31% to 43%. The stitched dragon roars. Everyone looks at it, not at me. Perfect. Stage 3. Open fire. I do not summon 34 undead. That would expose everything. I call 2. Only 2. The reinforced frost wyvern crashes through the rotten drainage wall behind the monster. An ash drake follows. Cyric spins. What? No idea, I say. Technically, he did not finish the question. The stitched dragon attacks them immediately. Good. I issue simple commands. Fight. Hold. No tactical complexity. The frost wyvern locks its jaws around 1 rear leg. The ash drake bites a tail. The construct tears the ash drake apart in 1 strike. Acceptable loss. Its regeneration tries to adapt to undead contact. I watch the rune flare. Then I use buff theft again. 48 units. This time I steal hardened scale adaptation. I send it into the frost wyvern. Gray armor spreads over its skull and spine. The construct kicks. The frost wyvern holds. Cyric sees the opening. He raises his spear. I grab it. He looks at me as though I have lost my mind. Wait. For what? The sternum rune pulses. There. The central container opens for half a heartbeat to redistribute adaptation. That is the weakness. Not the body. The timing. Every major adaptation forces the core to expose itself. I point. Now. Cyric does not ask why. He thrusts. Silver light tears into the sternum exactly as the black plates separate. The spear penetrates. The construct screams. Not dead. But the chest opens. Inside sits a fist-sized knot of black crystal wrapped in dead nerves. Necromantic control core. The stitched dragon swipes. Cyric gets thrown aside. Mira shoots for the exposed crystal. The creature twists. Arrow misses. Jace is still down. Tavian can barely stand. The opening begins closing. I could expose more power. Bone curse. Soul drain. Multiple summons. No. 2 visible. I send 1 command through the soul link. The little bone wyvern launches from my shoulder. Its repaired wing beats once. Then twice. For the first time, it stays airborne, not gracefully. Not long enough. Blue fire streaks across the tunnel. The stitched dragon sees it. Too late. The sovereign talon drives straight through the exposed control crystal. Silence. Absolute silence. Then the crystal shatters. The stitched dragon freezes. Its claws stop inches from Cyric's face. Every black rune across its body goes dark. The creature collapses. The impact shakes dust from the ceiling. My hatchling lands on its skull. 1 silver talon buried in the bone. Blue flame burns along its wing. Mira stares. Tavian stares. Cyric stares. I stare too, mostly because pretending helps. What is that thing? Cyric asks. I walk closer. The little bone wyvern looks at me. I give it the smallest possible shake of my head. Do not come here. It understands. Instead, it rips its talon free and disappears through the broken drainage wall. Good creature, Mira whispers. An undead dragon? Cyric's expression darkens. The corpse thief. Exactly. My original lie just acquired a witness. Better than planned. I kneel beside the stitched construct. Maybe. Sarek looks at me. You knew. I told you I saw black mist. You said you didn't know what it was. I still don't. Also true. He grabs my collar. Before he can say more, the construct's soul begins collapsing. I feel it. A massive accumulation of incompatible draconic fragments is about to disperse. No, absolutely not. I put one hand on the corpse as though steadying myself, then absorb. Quietly, fast, the soul hits me like a flood. 20 units. 40, 70, 100. My reservoir fills. The excess compresses. Pain tears across my chest. I continue. The construct contains signatures from 37 dragons. 37. All different. Frost, Ember, Ironjaw, Stone, Storm. 2 strains I have never encountered. 1 sovereign trace. I take every last one. The reservoir reinforces. Maximum accessible storage, 540 units. A completely ridiculous jump. My knees almost buckle. I turn it into exhaustion from the fight. Easy enough. The frost wyvern remains hidden behind the broken wall. Its new armor persists. Elite qualification threshold reached. 1 minion has evolved. My soul link changes. The frost wyvern no longer feels like a blunt command point. It feels sharper, stable, capable of interpreting intent. Elite frostbone wyvern recognized. Base animation investment stabilized. Cold aura unlocked. Not active yet. Foreshadowed. Useful. The destroyed ash drake leaves behind enough intact bone for reconstruction later. Net army count drops from 34 to 33. 1 loss, 1 elite gained. 37 new draconic death signatures. Maximum soul storage increases from 360 to 540. And buff theft now exists. Incomplete, expensive, limited to 1 enhancement at a time. Exactly the kind of unfinished weapon worth keeping. Far above us, alarm bells begin ringing. Blackspire finally noticed the disabled containment pylons. Sarek releases my collar. His face has lost all arrogance. Not permanently. People like him recover from humility with impressive speed. But for this moment, he keeps looking at the hole where the bone wyvern disappeared. The corpse thief has an undead dragon. Mira swallows. And it killed that thing in 1 hit. I press a hand against my bleeding ribs. Let my shoulders shake once. Weak. Exhausted. Lucky to survive. Exactly what they need to see. Sarek turns toward me. You tell Maelor everything. I meet his eyes. Obviously. Inside the wall, my new elite frostbone wyvern lowers its armored head. Farther through the tunnel, the little bone wyvern waits with blue fire shining around its sovereign talon. Neither moves. Neither makes a sound. 33 undead remain hidden beneath Blackspire. No one here knows they belong to me. No one knows I just stole a dragon construct's regeneration and armor buffs. No one knows my soul reservoir expanded by half again. And, most importantly, everyone standing beside the corpse has reached the exact same conclusion. There is a necromancer operating under the academy. They are finally right. They are simply looking in the wrong direction. By breakfast, the undead dragon has become 15 meters long. It has also killed 9 students. Neither is true. I know because the actual creature is currently inside my satchel stealing dried meat from my pocket. I feel the bag shift against my chair. Then the faint crunch of something that an undead creature absolutely does not need to eat. I lower one hand beneath the table. Stop. The crunching stops. 3 seconds pass. Another crunch. I close my eyes. So this is what betrayal feels like. Across Blackspire's main dining hall, 200 students are discussing the creature that supposedly lives beneath the academy. The stories have evolved impressively overnight. I heard it tore apart a 4th-rank dragon with 1 claw. That's not what happened. My roommate knows someone in Sarek's unit. Everyone knows someone in Sarek's unit. They said its flames were black. Blue, actually, and the necromancer controlling it wears a mask. That part is completely invented. I drink my watered tea. A second year at the next table lowers his voice. They found bodies. No, they did not. How many? 20. Absolutely not. Human? He pauses dramatically. Not anymore. I nearly choke. People are incredible. Give them one dead construct, one glimpse of a skeletal hatchling, and 12 hours later, there is apparently a masked corpse king living beneath the dormitories. The bone wyvern shifts again inside my satchel. I press my knee against it. Still, this time it obeys. Mostly. Sarek enters the hall. Conversation changes immediately. Not stops. Changes. Voices lower. Heads turn. The first Lance normally enjoys attention. Today, he looks like he wants to stab it. His left arm is wrapped in silver healing cloth. Tavian follows with a replacement shield strapped across his back. Mira has a bruise along her jaw. Jace is absent, probably still recovering from being burned by his own attack. Sarek sees me. For half a second, I expect the usual expression. Contempt, annoyance, something easy. Instead, his eyes pause. Assess. Then move away. Small change. Very small. Still useful. I remain the weakest student, but I am now the weakest student who survived something that injured his entire squad. That creates an irritating category people do not know how to classify. A chair scrapes beside me. Nobody usually sits here. Today, Tavian does. He puts down a tray. I look at him. He looks at me. Neither of us speaks for several seconds. Then he tears a piece of bread in half. You really saw that thing before yesterday? Something like it. The bone dragon? No. He frowns. Good. Let uncertainty do the work. What did you see? Black mist. That's it? That was enough for Maelor. Tavian glances toward the instructor tables. Roostmaster Maelor Fen is not eating. He is speaking quietly with Curator Lysra Quill. Dr. Cor Vask stands beside them. 3 of my favorite people. Wonderful. Lysra places a ledger on the table. Maelor turns several pages. Cor says something. Maelor's face hardens. I cannot hear them from here. So I watch their hands. Lysra points to a column. Inventory. Maelor shakes his head. Cor taps another page. Casualty or medical records. Then Lysra flips backward. 3 pages. Maelor stops her. Reads. The living preserved dragonhead mounted above the staff alcove turns slightly toward them. Even from across the dining hall, I can see Maelor's jaw tighten. Missing corpses. The real thefts. They are comparing records now. My fake trail did not create their problem. It gave the problem a shape. That makes it more dangerous. For them, Tavian lowers his voice. My father says the Academy board is furious. I look at him. Your father knows already? He supplies barrier crystal. There it is. Blackspire gossip moves faster when money is frightened. Why would the board care about one undead? It's not one undead. I let my eyebrows rise. Tavian leans closer. 3 corpse vaults were opened last month. Interesting. Maelor mentioned 3 unauthorized thefts. Not vaults. Opened how? No damage. Then somebody had keys. Tavian realizes what he just said. His mouth closes. I take another sip of tea. You should probably stop telling me things. He stares, then laughs once. Not mockery. Actual amusement. Another small change. Maybe. He stands. Before leaving, he puts something beside my tray. A healing vial. Cheap by his standards. Expensive by mine. I look at it. He shrugs. You stopped Mira from feeding that thing more adaptations. I grabbed her wrist. Exactly. Then he leaves. I stare at the vial. The bone wyvern's skull slowly rises from the satchel opening. It sees the glass. Its jaws open. No, it freezes. I move the vial farther away. The skull follows it. You cannot eat medicine. The skull tilts. You cannot eat anything. Its claws hook over the bag. I push it down. Across the hall, a first year sees the movement. I cough and shove my satchel under the table. Close. Too close. The morning combat lecture is cancelled. That has never happened. Instead, every 4th year is ordered to remain inside Tower 3 while investigators sweep the western grounds. Blackspire calls it a temporary safety restriction. Students call it proof. By midday, the rumors are worse. The mysterious Necromancer is a former instructor. No. A dragon cultist. No. A graduate who died 10 years ago. Creative. A rogue hidden class user from another academy. Possible but still wrong. One rumor gets closer. He's using discarded corpses from the grave furnace. I stop walking. Two students are talking around the corner. I recognize one voice, Mira. The other belongs to Lysra Quill's senior aide, a narrow-faced fifth year named Pell Dane. I stay behind the bone arch. They cannot see me. The investigators found necromantic residue in old disposal tunnels, Pell says. Mira folds her arms. I saw the undead myself. How large? Small. Finally, someone honest. How strong? It shattered the construct's core. With one strike? Yes. Pell goes quiet. Mira continues. It didn't move like a wild undead. My fingers stop against the wall. Interesting. What do you mean? It waited. Good eye. It watched the opening. Then it attacked exactly when the chest split. Pell lowers his voice. So controlled. Obviously controlled. By whom? Mira looks down the empty corridor. For a moment, I think she might glance toward me. She does not. The necromancer was nearby. Correct. Pell says. Sarek thinks the controller was deeper inside the tunnels. I almost smile. Also correct, from a certain perspective. Mira shakes her head. Maybe. What? The creature appeared too quickly. Very good eye. I file that away. Mira is more dangerous than Sarek, not because she is stronger, because she notices timing. Pell asks, You think the necromancer was in your group? Silence. That is less convenient. Mira answers slowly. No. I relax by approximately 1%. Why not? Because Tavian nearly died. Jace nearly burned alive. If one of us controlled that thing, they would have acted sooner. Reasonable. Wrong. But reasonable. Pell nods. And Nyren? I wait. Mira actually laughs. The hollow channel? There it is. Familiar ground. He can barely reinforce his own muscles. That does not answer the question. It does if you understand mana. Pell does not argue. Excellent. My greatest defense remains completely untouched. Everyone assumes necromancy requires mana. I keep walking before they finish. No reason to get greedy. The academy spends the afternoon searching the wrong places. I know because I watch them from the upper bridge. Teams descend into the western tunnels. Barrier specialists seal old exits. Curator aides count corpse inventory. Maelor personally supervises the transport of the stitched construct. They drag it beneath a black tarp toward the restricted laboratory tower. I stand among 30 other students pretending to be curious. Sarek stands 5 meters away. He notices me. You. I look over. He points toward the covered corpse. You said you saw mist coming from a dragon body before yesterday. Yes. What color? Black. I know that. He steps closer. What shade? I stare at him. What? Was it smoke? Black? Blue? Black? Violet? That is a better question than I expect from him. Blue. Black. His expression changes. Tiny, but real. Why? He does not answer. Mira does. She joins us from behind. The construct's control core had blue residue. I say nothing. Sarek looks toward the laboratory tower. That means the corpse you saw and the thing that attacked us came from the same source. Maybe. Or maybe necromantic residue frequently has similar properties. I do not know. That uncertainty bothers me more than I show. Someone else built the construct. Someone else has access to dragon corpses. Someone else understands enough death magic to stitch species together and turn damage into adaptation. My class recognized the structure. That does not make it identical to mine, and I still do not know who removed the containment crystals before our expedition. The Academy has a real necromancy problem. It just happens to have 2 necromancers instead of 1. Assuming the other person is a necromancer, I do not like assumptions. Sarek turns toward me. You're coming tonight. No. His eyebrows rise. The old reaction almost returns. What did you say? No. Maelor wants everyone from the incident questioned again. That is different from you ordering me. Mira covers a smile. Sarek's jaw tightens. Then something unexpected happens. He stops. Actually stops. A week ago, he would shove me into a wall. Today, he looks at the bandage visible above my collar, then toward the covered construct. Fine. He turns away. No threat. No insult. That is a bigger change. Not respect. Definitely not. But certainty has cracked. People are comfortable abusing things they understand. I am becoming inconveniently difficult to understand. That evening, Korvask examines me in a private medical room. He presses 2 fingers to my wrist. Mana pulse. Still pathetic. He checks twice. Strange. I look at him. What? You should be dead. People keep telling me that. He ignores the comment. 3 fractured ribs. Burn trauma. Internal bruising. Your mana reinforcement remains effectively non-existent. I'm aware. Yet you remained mobile. I had motivation. His eyes narrow. He opens a drawer. Pulls out a black crystal needle. That is new. What is that? Soul response probe. My expression stays blank. Inside, everything becomes very quiet. Kor presses the needle toward my palm. The bone wyvern is hidden 3 floors below inside an empty maintenance cavity. My undead army is farther away. No active commands. My soul reservoir currently holds 412 units. I do not know what a soul response probe detects. Unknown variable. I dislike unknown variables. The needle touches my skin. Cold spreads. My Necromancer class reacts. Not violently, defensively. The reservoir compresses. All soul mass pulls inward. The sensation is immediate and completely automatic. Kor watches the crystal. Nothing happens. No glow. No pulse. No reading. He frowns. Then pushes harder. Still nothing. Finally, the needle develops a tiny gray line. He removes it. Abnormally low soul resonance. I almost laugh. Of course, my class is hiding itself. Not because I commanded it. That part matters. Hidden class really means hidden, at least against this tool. Kor writes something in my file. What does that mean? It means you are as spiritually unimpressive as you are magically. There is the man I remember. I smile faintly. Good to know. He closes the file. You may leave. 5th sentence. Not useful enough to store for later. I step into the corridor. Maelor is waiting. Not for me. At least, he pretends he is not. He stands beside a window overlooking the dragon roosts. Nyren. I stop. Yes? The thing you saw before the expedition. Black mist. Did it react to you? Dangerous question. I answer with another truth. I ran. He turns. You? Yes. That seems to convince him. Probably because survival instinct is the only talent he believes I possess. Maelor looks toward the roosts again. Stay away from the lower tunnels. I nod. Gladly. And if you see anything unusual, I report it. To me. There. Not Academy security. Not instructors. Him. Understood. I leave. The moment I turn the corner, my expression goes flat. Maelor knows more than he is saying. Lysra knows inventory is missing. Kor now knows my soul resonance appears abnormally low. Sarek suspects the same source connects the planted corpse to the stitched construct. Mira is analyzing timing. The board is involved. The academy is tightening. So I stop harvesting for 3 nights. No corpse movement. No new summons. No visible changes. Power growth that cannot survive patience is not power. I use the time differently. I map patrol routes. I record furnace schedules. I observe which investigators report directly to Maelor and which report to Lysra. I discover that 2 restricted corpse lifts operate after midnight despite being marked inactive. I also discover the bone wyvern has learned how to open my storage cabinet. I return to the hidden marrow room on the 3rd night and find 23 dried meat strips arranged in a neat pile on the extraction press. The hatchling sits beside them. I stare. It stares back. Where did you get those? It turns its skull away. That is the most suspicious movement I have ever seen from a skeleton. I inspect the pile. Academy kitchen stamp. Wonderful. You robbed the kitchen. No response. You are undead. Its sovereign talon taps the table once. You do not have a stomach. It taps twice. Apparently irrelevant. I take the meat. The hatchling immediately puts 1 claw on the pile. I pull. It pulls back. We stare at each other. A cold pulse travels through the soul link. Possession. Not hunger. It does not want to eat the meat. It wants to own it. I release the pile. The hatchling drags all 23 strips toward the corner. Then it notices 1 piece left near my hand. It walks back. Takes it. Adds it to the pile. Every last one. I rub my forehead. Greedy. Its blue flame brightens. Proud. Definitely proud. There goes my theory about undead having no personality. I sit beside the extraction press. The hatchling climbs onto the highest point and settles beside its stolen treasure like a dragon guarding a legendary hoard. Except the hoard is dried beef. Pathetic. Appropriate. I check my army through the soul link. 33 undead remain. 1 elite frostbone wyvern. 12 bodies in eastern drainage. 9 near the furnace conduit. 11 in reserve. The bone hatchling does not count against the same command structure anymore. That is new. Its link feels independent. Closer. Stronger. Its stability remains 43%. The stolen regeneration effect has faded completely, but the structural changes remain. Its sovereign talon remains sharp. Blue flame appears whenever it becomes excited, especially around dragon soul material. I place a tiny fragment from the ancient black tooth on the table. The reaction is immediate. The hatchling leaves its meat hoard. So there are priorities after all. It approaches the tooth. Slowly, the blue flame along its wing darkens. Not black, deep cobalt. The ancient fragment vibrates. The soul link delivers a sensation I have never felt from the creature before. Not hunger, not pride, fear. It takes one step backward. I remove the fragment. No experiment is worth breaking a useful companion blindly. The hatchling looks at me, then does something strange. It walks to the meat pile, selects one strip, carries it over, drops it in my lap. I stare at the meat, then at it. Payment? Apology? Tribute? I have no idea. I pick up the strip. Generous. It immediately grabs the other end. Apparently not that generous. I let go. The hatchling returns the strip to its hoard. That makes more sense. Outside the hidden room, Blackspire's midnight alarm sounds once. Not danger. Curfew. Above me, hundreds of students are sleeping behind reinforced doors because they believe a mysterious necromancer is somewhere beneath their academy. The First Lance no longer calls the rumors ridiculous. The academy board is counting missing dragon corpses. Maylor is restricting information. Lysra is auditing inventories. Core is testing souls. And students who did not know my name a week ago now move slightly aside when I pass. Not because they fear me. Because I survived. Because Sarek's squad survived with me. Because I was the first person connected to the tunnels. I am still the hollow channel. Still the weakest student. Still poor. Still beneath every major ranking threshold. Perfect. Let the reputation belong to someone else. Let the academy hunt a masked corpse thief. Let them imagine an ancient graduate, a cultist, a rogue hidden class master, or a dead instructor. Rumors are useful when they grow larger than the truth. Especially when the truth is sitting beneath them counting every dragon corpse they forgot to lock away. The bone wyvern curls around its ridiculous meat hoard. I lean back against the extraction press. 3 nights without harvesting. No new deaths, no new signatures. Patience. Then a faint vibration enters my soul link. Not from the hatchling, from farther away. The elite frostbone wyvern. Something has entered the eastern drainage tunnel, something alive. I stand immediately. The hatchling lifts its skull. Blue fire ignites. Through the elite senses, I feel footsteps approaching the hidden perimeter. Slow. Careful. Not an academy patrol route, one person. Carrying something saturated with dragon death, I look toward the dark tunnel entrance. Finally, the rumors have started attracting exactly the kind of people who know they might be true. The person entering my eastern drainage tunnel is carrying a dragon heart in a metal box. Not a fresh one. Not entirely dead either. I know because every undead in the passage reacts to it. 12 soul links tighten at once. My elite frostbone wyvern lowers its armored skull. The smaller bone wyvern beside me stops guarding its dried meat hoard and looks toward the tunnel. Blue fire ignites between its wing bones. I put one finger against its skull. Stay. It immediately takes 2 steps forward. I move my finger back. It takes 1 step back, then another forward. We stare at each other. Apparently obedience is becoming negotiable, useful, annoying. I close my hand around the soul link. Not a command. A warning. The hatchling finally sits. Its silver talon scratches a line across the floor. I leave it there. The intruder keeps coming. 170 meters. 150. Slow pace. No lantern. No Academy patrol signal. Whoever this is knows the tunnels. I shift my attention through the frostbone wyvern. Its vision is strange. No color, no light. Only heat, soul density, and movement. A human figure appears beyond the drainage bend. Average height. Long coat. Face covered by a filter mask. One hand carries the metal box. The other holds a short hooked blade. The blade is coated in something that makes my undead recoil. Consecrated salt. Interesting. The stranger stops exactly 3 meters before the first hidden razor lizard. He cannot see it. He reaches into his coat, pulls out a silver tube. Sprinkles powder across the floor. The razor lizard's soul link burns. I dismiss it instantly. Its bones collapse before the salt reaches them. The stranger freezes. He heard something. Good. I pull the other 11 undead deeper into the wall cavities. No attack. Not yet. He kneels beside the fallen bones, touches them, then whispers, "Recent." I know that voice. Pell Dane, Lysra Quill's senior aide. The 5th year who questioned Mira. That improves the night considerably. Pell removes his mask. His narrow face glistens with sweat. He opens the metal box. Inside sits a blackened dragon heart wrapped in preservation wire. Necromantic residue crawls across it. Not mine, the real corpse thieves. Or the real construct makers. Pell places the heart beside the collapsed razor lizard, then waits. Nothing happens. He takes out a crystal recorder. "The bait is placed," he whispers. I almost smile. They brought bait for my bait. Talk about progress. A second voice crackles from the recorder. "Maelor, move back." Pell obeys. So Maelor is using Lysra's aid. That means the two of them are cooperating more closely than they pretend. I remain completely still. The little bone wyvern beside me leans closer to the wall. Its blue flame dims. Good. It understands stealth when something interesting is at stake. Maelor's voice returns through the recorder. If the Necromancer is harvesting draconic soul residue, the heart should force a response. There it is. He believes the lie. Not completely. Enough. Pell asks, "And if nothing comes?" Then we move to the second site. How long? 2 hours. Pell retreats. His footsteps disappear. I wait another full minute. Then I laugh quietly. The Academy just delivered concentrated dragon residue directly into my territory and expects me to steal it. I absolutely should not, which is why I am going to, just not in the way they expect. I send the frostbone wyvern forward, not to the heart, past it. The elite slips through a maintenance shaft, circles behind the surveillance rune Pell left in the wall, and presses one claw into the old drainage mortar. The wall cracks. Water begins leaking. Slowly. I command 2 razor lizards from another passage. They crawl through the ceiling. One bites through a rusted support cable. The other drags a dead sewer rat across the surveillance rune. The rune activates. Records movement. The heart remains untouched. Then the weakened wall collapses. Black water floods the chamber. The metal box tips. The dragon heart floats 30 meters down the tunnel and wedges beneath an iron grate. No undead touches it. No human hand enters the recording. Perfect. I let it sit there for another 20 minutes. Then I activate the tiny curse already attached to the drainage grate. I placed those curses 2 nights ago as alarms. Tonight, I rewrite one. Target iron grate. Trigger prolonged contact with draconic soul residue. Effect fracture 1 rusted hinge. Cost 4 units. The hinge snaps. The grate swings open. The heart disappears into the lower runoff channel. Straight toward my abandoned marrow room. Gravity steals it for me. No necromancer required. At least, none visible. The little bone wyvern waits beside the outlet. The heart slides into the room. It pounces. Not because I tell it to. Because apparently stealing treasure has become its favorite activity. The metal box crashes against the floor. The hatchling lands on top. Spreads its incomplete wings. Then drags the entire box toward its dried meat hoard. I stare. No. It keeps dragging. That is not yours. The sovereign talon hooks beneath the box. Scrape, scrape, scrape. I step in front of it. The hatchling stops. Blue fire brightens. You already have meat. It looks toward the meat. Then the heart. Then the meat again. I feel the answer through the soul link. Both. Greedy little monster. I take the box anyway. The hatchling follows me for 6 steps, then bites my boot. Absolutely shameless. I put the heart on the extraction press. The moment I touch the preservation wire, my class reacts. High-density draconic residue detected. Multiple foreign curse traces detected. That matters more than the soul mass. I do not absorb anything. First, I inspect. 4 curse layers cling to the heart. 1 preserves tissue. 1 suppresses scent. 1 blocks ordinary necromantic detection. The 4th is hidden beneath the others. I almost miss it. A tracking brand. Of course. My lord did not simply offer bait. He tagged it. Good. That means he expects the heart to move. If I erase the brand, he knows someone found it. If I keep it here, he eventually finds my base. So I do neither. I cut away a small section of preserved tissue. 8 grams, enough to hold the tracking curse. Then I bone reconstruct the missing tissue using a fragment from an unrelated ember drake. The heart looks intact. The tracking brand remains attached to the removed piece. I wrap that piece in corpse membrane, then send it away. One of my lowest undead takes it through the runoff channel. North, far from my base, toward an abandoned cavern beneath Blackspire's old western roost, exactly where the false necromancer should logically hide. The undead carries the tissue inside its ribcage. No complex command. Move north. Stop at marked chamber. Remain hidden. Cheap. Convincing. I watch through the link until it reaches the destination. Then I leave it. The trap has just become better than the one I originally designed. Maelor wanted to track a necromancer. Now he can. I turn back to the heart. The hatchling is already standing on the extraction press. Its jaw is inches from the tissue. Don't. It freezes, then slowly moves 1 claw closer. Don't. The claw stops. 1 centimeter from the heart. I narrow my eyes. It pulls the claw back. Good. I begin extraction. Carefully. The heart contains 17 soul units. Not much, but the death signature is unusual. Old, dense, sovereign adjacent. The hatchling reacts with every unit I absorb. Its blue fire grows darker. Its repaired wing trembles. The sovereign talon develops a second silver ridge. Reconstruction stability rises from 43% to 47%, then stops. I stop too. No need to force it. Power growth accelerates over the next 12 days. Not because I harvest recklessly. Because Blackspire starts feeding the lower tunnels with evidence. Mylor places 3 more tagged corpse fragments. Lysra authorizes movement of confiscated dragon remains. Sarek leads 2 search squads through the western roosts. Every action assumes the same thing. A rogue necromancer is hiding outside the Academy's normal routes. I make sure their assumption survives. The first tagged corpse fragment disappears through a collapsed sewage channel. The second is found stripped of soul residue in an abandoned shrine beneath Tower 1. The third remains untouched. Deliberately. A predator that steals everything is predictable. A predator that chooses targets looks intelligent. Mylor begins changing the bait. Higher quality remains, rarer strains, better wards. He is learning. So am I. Meanwhile, my actual harvesting shifts east, away from every investigation. The Academy locks the western corpse routes. I use forgotten marrow ducts under Tower 5. Lysra increases inventory audits in grave furnace storage. I harvest from dragon anatomy classrooms before remains enter inventory. Maelor patrols old tunnels. I begin using vertical shafts inside the world dragon's ribs. Every measure they take against the imaginary necromancer teaches me where security is strongest. And, more importantly, where it is not. 33 undead become 47, then 62, then 81. Most remain low grade. 26 razor lizards, 17 ash drakes, 9 cavern breeds, 11 damaged wyverns, 6 miscellaneous draconic corpses useful mainly for hauling material. My frostbone wyvern remains the first elite, then a second emerges. I reconstruct an ironjaw drake using armored vertebrae from 3 separate corpses. It costs 94 soul units. Its skull becomes almost solid bone. Its forelimbs thicken. When I command it to charge, it breaks through a support wall I intended to preserve. Annoying. Effective. Elite Gravejaw recognized. Roll Siege Minion. I move it to the southern access corridor. No one gets through that route quietly anymore. My reservoir grows too. 540 becomes 720, then 900. The increase comes after repeated saturation with high-grade souls. I still cannot define the exact threshold, but quality remains more efficient than quantity. The unfinished dragon curse changes with it. Draconic death signatures incorporated 186. Target lattice stability 12%. 12. That number matters. For the first time, the class gives me measurable progress toward the SSS structure. I do the calculation immediately. If progress were linear, I would need roughly 1,550 signatures for full stability. It will not be linear. Nothing useful ever is. Still, 1,000, maybe several thousand. The title waiting at the end of this road is not one dragon, not 10, not 100. My curse is building towards species-scale extermination. I can feel that now. The thought should disturb me. It does not. Dragons have spent centuries being the currency Blackspire measures human worth against. Power, rank, wealth, prestige. If the mechanism of this world insists on worshipping dragon death, I see no reason to be modest about it. My hidden base expands. The abandoned marrow room becomes only the center. I clear 3 connected processing chambers. One stores bone, one stores intact corpses. One becomes a command hall lined with chalk maps of the academy tunnels. The eastern drainage network belongs to me completely. The southern furnace conduit is controlled by Gravejaw. The old vertical marrow shaft gives me access to Tower 5. A sealed roost beneath the western rib becomes a false base for Maylor's investigation. 81 undead occupy 4 sectors. 2 elite minions guard separate approaches. No student knows. No instructor knows. From above, Blackspire still sees tunnels. From below, I see territory. An empire is a dramatic word, so I do not use it. Not yet. On the 13th night, the Bone Wyvern decides that patience is beneath it. I am reconstructing a Stormdrake spine when it drags something into the room. A black crystal. I recognize it instantly. Maylor's tracking beacon, the one attached to the false western base. I stop moving. The hatchling drops it beside my boot. Blue fire flickers proudly. I stare at the crystal, then at it. Where did you get this? The soul link shows me an image. Western roost. Broken wall. Sarek. 3 investigators. A dropped crystal, then the hatchling grabbing it. I close my eyes. You went to the western roost. One claw taps the floor. Yes. Alone. Tap. You entered the area currently being searched by Maylor Fen. Tap. I point at the tracking beacon. And stole this. The hatchling lowers its skull. For half a second, I think it understands the problem. Then it pushes the crystal toward its hoard. No. It considers the beacon treasure. I take it away. The hatchling lunges. I hold it above my head. It climbs my coat. You are impossible. Its silver talon catches my shoulder. I nearly drop the crystal. Then the beacon activates. Red light flashes. Both of us freeze. Location pulse transmitted. Wonderful. I crush it immediately. Too late. Maylor now has one brief signal from somewhere near my real territory. This is the kind of mistake that gets hidden empires discovered. The hatchling senses my anger. Its blue flame goes out. It steps backward. I do not shout. That would be pointless. I crouch. Stay here. The command carries real pressure this time. It obeys. I move fast. 3 undead teams relocate. Bone storage shifts south. Elite Gravejaw blocks the direct approach. I curse 2 side tunnels with movement-slowing fields. Not enough to kill. Enough to warn me. Then I wait. 5 minutes. 10. No footsteps. 15. Still nothing. Then I understand. The signal did not expose me. It reinforced the lie. The beacon was originally placed in the false western roost. If Maylor sees it move east before disappearing, what does he conclude? Not that Nyren Vale owns the drainage tunnels. He concludes the rogue Necromancer discovered the trap and relocated. Exactly what an intelligent enemy would do. The hatchling's theft nearly ruins everything. Instead, it makes the phantom more believable. I hate when stupidity succeeds. The soul link carries offense. Apparently it heard the thought. Then a second sensation reaches me. Not from emotion. From its body. Heat. Pressure. Evolution. The sovereign talon begins glowing. Blue flame floods both wings. Not one. Both. The unreconstructed side cracks. Bone pushes outward. New struts form without my help. Soul mass drains from my reservoir automatically. 30 units. 60. 90. I almost interrupt it. Then I remember the repeated signs. Blue flame from the ancient skull. Reaction to sovereign fragments. Structural adaptation from buff theft. The second ridge on the talon. All of this has been building. Not random. I let it continue. 120 soul units vanish. The hatchling rises from the floor. For the first time, both wings spread evenly. Cobalt fire stretches between every skeletal finger, its ribs thicken. The tail lengthens. Silver spreads from the sovereign talon into the forearm and across part of the chest. Its skull develops two backward horns, small, sharp. The creature is still nowhere near a full dragon. But it is no longer something I can hide in a satchel. The class recognizes it. Elite evolution complete. Sovereign bone wyvern. Reconstruction stability 68%. Soul flame propulsion unlocked. Death signature detection range significantly increased. The wyvern drops back onto the extraction press. Metal bends beneath its claws. It looks at me, then at the crushed tracking beacon. Then, very carefully, it pushes one shard toward me. I pick it up. Is this an apology? The wyvern immediately pulls the shard back. No. Still treasure. Of course. I almost laugh. Above us, somewhere inside Blackspire, Maelor is probably staring at a map showing his beacon moving away from the false base before vanishing. Sarek will believe the Necromancer escaped. Lizra will move more inventory. Kor will prepare better detection tools. Every one of them is now building decisions on the existence of a hidden enemy they cannot locate. They believe the bait. They are investing resources into it. And while they chase movement through the western tunnels, 81 undead occupy the academy beneath their feet. 2 elite war beasts guard my borders. My sovereign bone wyvern stands beside me with enough personality to steal evidence from an active investigation. My reservoir holds 780 soul units after its evolution. 186 draconic death signatures already strengthen the unfinished curse. 12% of the target lattice is stable. I walk to the chalk map on the wall. 4 sectors belong to me. I mark a 5th. The academy above is still Blackspire. The academy below is becoming something else. And the people hunting its master have finally started helping me build it. The first person to discover one of my undead entrances is not Maelor Fen. It is Tavian Rusk. That is inconvenient. He stands at the mouth of the eastern drainage corridor with his replacement shield on one arm and a lantern in the other. 3 meters beyond him, 12 undead wait behind the wall. One command from me, and he dies before he finishes inhaling. I do not give it. Not yet. I watch through the frostbone wyvern's senses. Heat, soul, movement. Tavian looks nervous. Not hunting nervous. Lost nervous. That difference matters. He turns slowly. Nyren? I stop breathing. Interesting. He came here looking for me. The sovereign bone wyvern stands beside me in the hidden command chamber. Its cobalt flames dim. Its horns tilt toward the tunnel. It feels my attention shift. Then it looks at the chalk map. Smart creature. I touch the eastern sector. Follow. It moves silently behind me. Mostly silently. Its left claw scrapes the floor once. I glare. It lifts the claw higher. Progress. I take the maintenance shaft upward instead of meeting Tavian directly. 10 minutes later, I emerge into a disused tool room 2 corridors behind him. My coat is clean. My face looks tired. My mana pulse is still embarrassingly weak. Perfect. I walk toward the drainage entrance loudly enough for him to hear. Tavian spins. His shield comes up, then lowers. Nyren. You said that already. His eyes narrow. How long were you behind me? Long enough to wonder why you're wandering around sealed tunnels at midnight. He glances toward the darkness. I was looking for you. That is somehow worse. I need help. I almost turn around. People say that before they offer problems. Tavian steps forward. Jace is missing. I stop. Not because I care deeply about Jace Orin. I do not. But missing students during an active necromancy investigation are rarely isolated inconveniences. When? This afternoon. He could be drunk. He doesn't drink. Religious? Control obsession. Fair. What does this have to do with me? Tavian hesitates. That is the moment I become interested. He was asking questions about the stitched dragon. Bad hobby. He found something. What? He wouldn't tell me. Then why are you here? Tavian's jaw tightens. Because before he disappeared, he said your name. Silence. That changes several calculations at once. I keep my expression bored. What exactly did he say? He said Niren was there before the construct. That is true. He said you found the first corpse. Also true. He said Maylor's report changed the location where you found it. That is new. I look at Tavian properly. Changed how? The original incident report says Western Drainage Sector 7. Yes. The archive copy says Sector 9. I say nothing. Tavian continues. He checked the transfer ledger. Sector 9 connects to an old corpse elevator. Now I understand the problem. Maylor altered records. Not surprising. The location he chose is Sector 9 sits closer to the false Western base I created later. He did not merely hide information. He adjusted the paper trail to support the rogue Necromancer theory. Why? Because he believes it. Or because he wants everyone else to believe it. Those are very different possibilities. Tavian studies me. You're not surprised. I'm tired. That's not the same thing. Maybe he is smarter than I gave him credit for. Annoying trend. I cross my arms. What do you want me to do? Help me find Jace. No. His face hardens. Why? Because I enjoy being alive. He was on your expedition. So were you. He almost died. So did I. Tavian steps closer. You figured out the construct before any of us. I figured out that hitting it was stupid. You stopped Mira. Because she was. Making it stronger. You told Sarek when to strike the core. He had the spear. You saw the timing. There it is. My social position shifted just enough for him to start believing I might be useful. Useful becomes dangerous quickly. I shrug. Lucky. Tavian laughs once. No. Not good. He is reassessing me. So I reassess him. He gave me a healing vial. He warned me about the board. He revealed information about missing corpse vaults without intending to. Now he is investigating altered Academy records independently. Not loyal to Maylor. Not entirely loyal to Sarek either. Potentially useful. Potentially disposable. I decide not to classify him yet. Where did Jace go last? Tavian exhales. Restricted anatomy storage beneath Tower 2. That place has 3 locks. He had Sarek's clearance token. Does Sarek know? No. Why? Because Jace thought Sarek would tell Maylor. That is more interesting. A crack inside their group. Not betrayal, distrust. Exactly the kind that becomes dangerous if handled emotionally. Fortunately, emotions are not the problem. I start walking. Tavian follows. Where are we going? Tower 2. You said no. I changed my mind. Why? Because now I'm curious. Half true. We use public corridors, no hidden paths. I keep us visible to 2 night wardens and 1 cleaning crew. If something happens later, witnesses place me above ground. Simple. Tower 2 is locked after curfew. Tavian produces a bronze access key. Where did you get that? Sarek? He gave it to you? No. I look at him. He looks away. Unexpected. You stole from Sarek Vorn? Borrowed. Without permission. Yes. I'm starting to like you less. He almost smiles. We descend. Restricted anatomy storage sits beneath the surgical lecture halls. The air smells of alcohol, cold metal, and dragon blood. Glass vats line the walls. Most contain organs. Hearts, eyes, flame glands. Pieces students study before exams. 1 vat is empty. Fresh condensation still covers the glass. Tavian points. That one held the stitched construct's control core. Of course it did. I approach. No visible break. No forced entry. The containment seals are disabled properly. Someone with authorization removed it. I touch the edge of the vat. My class reacts. Residual necromantic structure detected. Buff theft framework compatibility partial. Interesting. The core was here recently enough to leave residue. I feel something else. A death signature. Human. Weak. Fresh. I turn. A thin smear of blood leads beneath a storage rack. Tavian sees it. Jace. Maybe. We move the rack. Behind it is a maintenance hatch. Unlocked. That seems almost insulting. Tavian opens it. A ladder descends into darkness. He reaches for the first rung. I grab his shoulder. Stop. What? I point toward the metal. A black line circles the third rung. Curse. Not mine. Tavian cannot see it. How did you? Oil. He squints. There is no oil. I do not care. I pick up a preserved dragon claw from the nearest tray and drop it onto the rung. The curse activates. The claw turns to powder. Tavian goes pale. That would have been my hand. Yes. He looks at me. Longer this time. I do not enjoy the attention. We descend using the side braces. The maintenance tunnel below is narrow. New pipes run through old dragon bone. I feel undead residue ahead. Foreign. Strong. The sovereign bone wyvern, still hidden 2 floors away through the internal shafts, sends me a sudden warning through the soul link. Danger. Then an image. Not visual. A smell remembered through death sense. Silver. Black resin. The same sovereign trace from the hidden dragon corpse. I stop. Tavian nearly walks into me. What? Quiet. He obeys. Good. The wyvern sends another pulse. Then direction. Left. The tunnel ahead branches. According to academy plans, both passages should lead to filtration rooms. My companion insists the left one contains sovereign residue. I choose left, Tavian whispers. Why? Draft. There is no draft. He knows that. He follows anyway. Another reassessment. The tunnel opens into a chamber I have never mapped. That alone bothers me. Blackspire's underground is larger than my current territory. I knew that. Knowing and feeling are different. Metal tables fill the room. Dragon pieces lie across them. Fresh. Too fresh. There are no academy inventory brands. No tags. No class markings. Illegal harvest. At the center stands Jace Orin. Alive. Barely. He is tied to a chair with black wire. His right hand is burned down to the bone. Tavian moves. I catch him. Wait. Jace lifts his head. His eyes are unfocused. Tav? Then someone steps from behind the table. Curator Lysra Quill. That is not what I expect. For once, I actually feel surprise. Not much. Enough. Lysra wears no academy coat. Her sleeves are rolled up. Black blood stains both hands. A narrow carving knife rests between her fingers. She looks at Tavian, then at me. Her expression does not change. Wrong corridor. Tavian's entire body goes rigid. Curator. Lysra sighs. You should have stayed upstairs. I look at Jace. Then the dragon parts. Then Lysra. The obvious conclusion is that she built the construct. I reject it immediately. Too easy. The curse style in this room does not match her mana signature. She may be involved. That is not the same thing. Tavian raises his shield. What did you do to him? Lysra looks annoyed. He stole restricted records. You burned his hand. He touched something he should not. Jace laughs weakly. She's lying. Useful timing. Lysra's eyes flick toward him. Jace spits blood. She doesn't make them. There, exactly. She moves them. Lysra's expression changes. Not guilt, fear, a fraction. Someone above her. Good. Tavian steps toward Jace. Lysra raises one hand. 3 black seals ignite across the room. I recognize the structure instantly. Containment curse. Foreign necromancy. The same design family as the stitched dragon. The chamber locks. Lysra says, I cannot let either of you leave. Tavian looks at me. This is the moment a less practical person might feel betrayed by an authority figure. I feel relieved. Ambiguity is exhausting. At least now Lysra belongs in a hostile category. Mostly. Nyron, Tavian whispers. Yes? Any ideas? Several. The floor opens. 2 stitched drakes climb out, smaller than the first construct. Faster. One has 6 forelimbs. The other has no eyes and a rib cage full of red crystals. Tavian raises his shield. Lysra backs away. I'm sorry. No, she is not. The first drake hits us. Tavian blocks. The impact drives him to one knee. The second spits crystal shards. I dive behind a table. Jace screams. Lizra moves toward the rear door, leaving. Interesting. She does not intend to fight. That means the constructs have standing orders. I do not need to reveal myself. Not fully. I touch the soul link. The sovereign bone wyvern moves. 2 floors. 1 shaft. 1 wall. Fast. The first stitch Drake hammers Tavian's shield again. Cracks spread across the metal. Tavian. What? Move right on my count. Why? Because left is worse. Not persuasive. Enough. I watch the Drake. Its shoulder rune flashes before every charge. Same design principle. Different body. Whoever makes these things repeats mechanisms. That is useful. Now. Tavian moves right. The Drake lunges. I kick the leg of the metal table. It tips. Not enough to stop the creature. Enough to expose a drainage seam beneath it. The wall explodes. Cobalt fire tears into the chamber. My sovereign bone wyvern crashes through bone and pipework like subtlety has personally insulted it. Lysra freezes. Tavian stares. Oh, excellent summary. The wyvern hits the first construct from the side. Sovereign talon cuts through its shoulder rune. The limb falls. The construct tries to regenerate. I feel the buff activate. I steal it. Buff theft. 48 soul units. Black threads flash for less than a second. The regeneration disappears from the construct. Silverbone spreads across my wyvern's damaged chest instead. Tavian does not see the transfer clearly. Lysra might. Her eyes widen. Dangerous. The second construct fires crystal shards. My wyvern folds 1 cobalt wing. The shards strike. Blue flame ripples. It protects Jace. Not me. Not because I commanded it. Because Jace is helpless. I feel the decision through the soul link. That surprises me more than Lysra. The creature has preferences now. Instinct beyond orders. Useful. Also something I need to understand. Tavian charges. His shield slams into the first construct. The wyvern's talon follows. The head comes off. The second construct turns toward the rear exit. Retreat behavior. Lysra reaches the door. I have 1 second. If she escapes, she reports the wyvern. If I kill her, I lose access to whoever she serves. Both options are bad. So I choose a third. Take her. The wyvern understands. It does not attack Lysra. It attacks the ceiling. 1 sweep of the sovereign talon severs a support line. Stone collapses between Lysra and the door. She falls backward. Trapped. Alive. Perfect. The second construct lunges at the wyvern. Tavian intercepts. The impact throws him across the room. His shield breaks. Actually breaks. He hits the wall and drops. I move. No choice now. I cast movement curse. Target second construct. Rule stitch draconic body. Trigger forward acceleration. Effect reduce movement. 27 soul units. Black veins spread beneath its legs. It slows. Not dramatically. Enough. The wyvern climbs onto its back. Blue fire floods both wings. Its silver talon punches through the crystal ribcage. 1 crystal. 2. 3. The construct shrieks. The wyvern does not stop. 4. 5. Then it finds the core. Crushes it. The drake collapses. Silence returns. Tavian is unconscious. Jace is barely conscious. Lysra is trapped behind fallen stone. The sovereign bone wyvern stands over the dead construct, cobalt fire rolling across its ribs. Then it looks at me, not waiting for praise, waiting for instruction. Different. Better. I walk toward Lysra. She reaches for her carving knife. The wyvern growls. No lungs. Still somehow growls. Lysra stops. Smart. I crouch beside the rubble. Who built them? She says nothing. Who receives the missing dragon corpses? Nothing. Who altered Maelor's reports? That gets a reaction. Tiny. Enough. Interesting. Maybe Maelor altered them himself. Maybe not. I change direction. Does Maelor know about this room? Her eyes move. Left. Not consciously. I get my answer. At least partially. She whispers. You have no idea what you found. That sentence is rarely impressive. They're going to kill everyone in this academy. Who? She laughs. Actual fear now, not arrogance. They don't need to enter Black Spire. That is not the answer. But it is useful. I hear distant alarms. The broken containment seals are reporting failure. We have minutes, maybe less. I stand. Decision time. Tavian saw the wyvern. Jace saw it. Lystra saw more. I cannot erase all three without creating a much larger problem, so I adjust the plan. The phantom necromancer remains real. But now Tavian needs to believe something slightly different. I walk to the dead construct. I place one hand against it. Absorb. 31 dragon signatures. My reservoir rises. The wyvern watches. Tavian groans behind me. Conscious enough. Good. I do not hide the absorption completely. I also do not make it obvious. I let black mist move toward the wyvern instead of directly toward my hand. From Tavian's angle, it looks like the creature is feeding. Exactly. I sever my visible connection. The wyvern jumps onto the broken wall. I point into the maintenance shaft. Go. It hesitates. That hesitation is important. Then it disappears. Tavian sees the whole thing. I turn toward him. His eyes are barely open. You commanded it. No. You said go. So did you during the tunnel fight. His face tightens. He remembers. Anyone can shout at an undead. That does not prove ownership. I crouch beside him. It saved Jace. Tavian looks toward the chair. Yes. So, maybe it isn't hunting us. He stares at the shaft where the wyvern vanished. The idea settles. Not trust. Possibility. Exactly what I need. Footsteps thunder through the corridor above. Academy security. I cut Jace free, then look at Lystra. She is still trapped. Alive, terrified. I could leave her. I could kill her. Instead, I pull one block away. Then another. Tavian looks at me like I am insane. You're helping her? Yes. Why? Because dead people answer fewer questions. That shuts him up. Lystra watches me. For the first time, Curator Quill no longer sees the weakest student. She sees a problem she cannot classify. Good. I drag her free just before security breaks into the room. Maelor enters first. Of course he does. His eyes move across the chamber. Jace. Tavian. Lystra. Dead-stitched constructs. Me. Then the broken wall. His expression becomes absolutely still. Explain. I look exhausted. That part requires no acting. I followed Tavian. Tavian looks at Maelor. Then at Lystra. He says nothing about the wyvern. Interesting. Maelor asks, what killed the constructs? Silence. Jace closes his eyes. Lystra looks at me. Tavian speaks first. The undead dragon. There it is. Maelor's attention snaps toward the broken wall. Where is it? Gone. Who controlled it? Tavian hesitates. I wait. This is the real variable. Not Lystra. Not Jace. Tavian. He can point at me. He does not. I didn't see anyone. A choice. Small. Real. Our relationship just changed. I do not trust him. Trust is expensive. But I now know he is willing to withhold information from Maelor when the evidence feels wrong. That is useful. Maelor orders everyone separated. Questions begin. Security seals the chamber. Lystra is taken away. Jace goes to medical containment. Tavian disappears with investigators. I return to my dormitory 3 hours before dawn. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern is already waiting inside the maintenance cavity behind my wall. It has brought something with it. Lystra's carving knife. Of course. Another trophy. I take it. The blade carries foreign necromantic residue. More importantly, a symbol is etched beneath the handle. 3 dragon skulls facing inward around an empty circle. I have never seen it. The wyvern taps the symbol with its talon, then sends an image through the soul link. The chamber. Lystra. A black seal beneath her collar. Same symbol. Excellent. My original plan was simple. Grow underground. Feed the phantom necromancer rumor. Let Maelor and the Academy chase shadows while I build enough power to finish the dragon curse. That plan is no longer sufficient. Someone inside Blackspire is moving dragon corpses for an external group. Lystra is involved. Maelor knows at least part of it. Jace discovered enough to get abducted. Tavian is now lying by omission to Academy leadership, and the constructs are not experiments. They are preparation. For what, I do not know. So I redraw the map. Not emotionally, not dramatically. I erase the line marking Maylor as the central hunter. Replace it with a question mark. I move Tavian from potential nuisance to conditional asset. Lysra moves from administrator to compromised intermediary. The unknown group gets its own mark. 3 skulls. 1 empty circle. The sovereign bone wyvern watches me finish. Then it places Lysra's knife directly over the symbol. Precise. Deliberate. I look at it. You agree? Cobalt fire brightens. Apparently. Fine. My army remains hidden. My curse continues growing. My false necromancer remains alive as a rumor. But from tonight onward, I stop treating Blackspire as the board. It is only one piece. Someone else is playing beneath it. And now I know enough to start playing back. Maylor Fen declares victory 3 days before he catches anyone. That tells me almost everything I need to know about him. The announcement takes place beneath Blackspire's central rib arch, where every student from 4th year upward has been ordered to assemble. 700 combat candidates, 43 instructors, representatives from 5 licensed dragon guilds, curators, roost officers, academy security, and, on the elevated bone platform above us, the members of Blackspire's governing council. That last part is unusual. The council normally appears only for graduation rankings, dragon contract auctions, or funerals involving expensive surnames. Today, all 7 seats are occupied. Sarek Vorn stands beside Maylor in polished silver armor. Of course he does. A crimson banner hangs behind them. On it is a freshly painted symbol. A skeletal dragon skull split by a spear. Subtle. I stand near the back, exactly where the weakest student belongs. Tavian stands 2 rows ahead. He does not look at me. Good. Jace remains under medical restriction. Lysra Quill has officially taken administrative leave. That phrase is doing violent work. The Academy has not announced her arrest. It has not announced the illegal anatomy chamber. It has not announced stitched dragons. Instead, Blackspire has announced a successful internal security operation against an unidentified necromantic infiltrator. Half true. The best lies usually are. Maylor raises one hand. The entire rib hall goes quiet. His voice amplifies through the dragon bone beneath our feet. 13 days ago, an unauthorized necromantic presence was detected beneath this academy. Murmurs ripple through the students. I keep my breathing slow. Beside Maylor, Sarek looks like someone has sculpted confidence into human form. Maylor continues. This infiltrator stole academy property, corrupted draconic remains, and deployed undead constructs against Blackspire students. That last part is convenient. The real construct maker has now been merged with the phantom necromancer. My lie has swallowed their secret. Interesting. Blackspire does not tolerate parasites. Applause erupts from one section. Mostly students connected to Dragon Guild families. Maylor waits, then smiles. Not much. Enough. Last night, our tracking operation succeeded. That gets my attention. Not visibly. Internally, everything sharpens. Behind him, a projection rune activates. A map of Blackspire's underground tunnels appears in pale blue light. One point glows red. Western Roost. My false base. Exactly. Maylor points toward it. The infiltrator believed our investigation had lost the trail. No. The infiltrator hoped you would think precisely this. We allowed him to relocate. Also no. We allowed him to believe his thefts remained undetected. Closer. Then Maylor places both hands on the bone railing. And tonight, we close the net. The hall explodes with voices. Students turn toward one another. Instructors whisper. Guild representatives lean forward. I study the map. 3 security rings surround the false western base. Outer barrier teams, dragon suppression lances, soul detection arrays. Maylor has committed a ridiculous amount of manpower, not to me, to a room containing 1 disposable undead carrying a piece of cursed dragon heart. Talk about an absolute waste of resources. Counselor Varric Vorn rises from the highest seat. Sarek's father. That explains the silver armor. Varric controls the eastern breeding roosts that supply Blackspire with almost a third of its living training dragons. His family does not merely sponsor students. It sells the academy its future corpses. He lifts a ceremonial spear. Who leads the strike? Maylor does not answer. Sarek steps forward. Naturally. I do. Applause again. Louder. Sarek raises his chin. The necromancer hides behind stolen corpses because he cannot face real dragon hunters. I almost admire the confidence. He has seen one undead wyvern crack a stitched construct core in a single strike. Apparently, terror expires quickly when an audience arrives. Sarek looks across the students. I have already survived his strongest beast. Technically, my wyvern saved him. Details. Tonight I bring back its skull. The students cheer. My companion is currently 3 floors below us inside the marrow shaft. Through the soul link, I feel its immediate response. Offense. Hot. Sharp. Then an image reaches me. Sarek. Skull. Biting. I close my eyes for half a second. No. The thought travels through the link. The sovereign bone wyvern sends back a very clear refusal. Wonderful. Its personality is improving faster than its discipline. Sarek keeps speaking. The Academy spent weeks treating this coward like a hidden master. He grips the spear. I am finished chasing shadows. That sentence might become useful later. I store it. Varric Vorn smiles from the council seat. My son speaks for Blackspire. No. He speaks loudly inside it. Different thing. Another counselor stands. Dean Merowyn Sable. Head of rankings and combat licenses. He controls which graduates receive access to sovereign-class dragon hunts, which means he effectively decides who becomes wealthy after leaving Blackspire. He turns toward Maelor. If the operation succeeds, the infiltrators' recovered assets become Academy property. There it is. Not safety. Assets. Maelor nods. Of course. And any surviving undead? Disassembled and catalogued. My companion sends another pulse through the link. Cold this time. The equivalent of a threat. I almost smile. Counselor Sable continues. Then we should discuss merit distribution. Before the target is captured, before the battle occurs, they are already dividing the corpse. Peak Blackspire. Sarek's contribution reward is announced first. 10,000 guild credits. Automatic advancement to final year First Lance Commander. Priority access to the next Sovereign Dragon contract. The hall reacts exactly as expected. Envy. Admiration. Fear. Sarek does not even pretend surprise. He knew. Of course he knew. Then Varric Vorn adds something. If the Necromancer is captured alive, House Vorn will personally purchase interrogation rights. The hall quiets. That is not an Academy procedure. That is ownership. Maelor does not object. Neither does Sable. Very useful. The power structure becomes clearer by the second. Blackspire pretends to be an academy. Underneath, it is a dragon economy with classrooms attached. The Vorn family supplies living dragons. Sable controls hunting licenses. Lizra controlled harvested remains. Maelor controls training deaths and corpse movement. Core certifies biological and soul conditions. Different offices. One supply chain. And someone has been siphoning dragon bodies out of that chain. That is why the missing corpses matter. Not because they are dangerous, because somebody is stealing from the people who believe every dragon death belongs to them. I feel almost insulted. That is my line of work now. Maelor concludes the assembly. All students remain in their towers after sunset. A pause. Except the strike team. Sarek smiles. The entire hall watches him descend the platform like he has already won. When he reaches my row, he stops. Of course. His silver armor reflects the pale light. You look nervous. I always look like this. He laughs, then lowers his voice. Try not to wander into another tunnel tonight. I glance at the spear on his back. You seem confident. I know where he is. Do you? That stops the smile for half a second. Then it returns. Stronger. He ran from every trap we set. True, because there was nobody there. Sarek leans closer. Cowards always make the same mistake eventually. What mistake? They start believing survival means intelligence. That one is definitely worth keeping. I nod. Good luck. I won't need it. Third useful sentence. He walks away. Tavian does not turn around until Sarek leaves the hall. Then our eyes meet once. No signal. No conversation. Still enough. He knows the official story is wrong. He does not know how wrong. That is safer. By sunset, Blackspire empties its corridors. Students watch from tower windows as the strike team assembles below. I watch from my dormitory for exactly 7 minutes. Then I leave. Not through the door. Through the wall cavity behind my wardrobe. Weak students receive terrible rooms. Terrible rooms receive terrible maintenance. Sometimes poverty is generous. I descend the hidden marrow shaft. The sovereign bone wyvern waits at the bottom. It is larger than it was 3 days ago. Not dramatically. Enough for me to notice. Its horns now curve backward along its skull. Silver reinforcement has spread across 3 ribs. The cobalt flame between its wings burns even while it rests. That is new. I place one hand against its sternum. The class responds immediately. Sovereign bone wyvern, reconstruction stability 72%. Elite structure stable. Unknown higher evolution conditions partially satisfied. There. Finally. Higher evolution. I focus. The class gives me fragments rather than an answer. Ancient sovereign material. Complete draconic authority imprint. High-density soul ignition. Compatible death field. Then nothing. 4 requirements. I understand perhaps 2. The ancient black tooth hidden near the grave furnace obviously matters. Sovereign material. The silver dragon residue probably contributed to the authority imprint. High-density soul ignition could mean a huge soul intake. Compatible death field, I have no idea. Not yet. The wyvern nudges my hand, then turns toward the western tunnels. It wants to go. No. Its flame intensifies. Sarek wants your skull. The soul link delivers unmistakable amusement. Apparently that motivates it. No. It walks toward the tunnel. I place my palm against its neck. Tonight you stay hidden. It freezes. The command is firmer than usual. I need the false base to fall. I need Maelor to find exactly enough evidence to become arrogant. A real elite undead appearing would contaminate the result. The wyvern lowers its skull, then turns away from the tunnel. Good. It walks toward the command room instead. Also good. Then it stops beside my chalk map and drives its sovereign talon directly through the mark representing Sarek. Less good. I stare at the hole. Subtle. Cobalt fire pulses proudly. I remove the map. We have other work. While Maelor sends nearly 200 people west, I move east. 8 undead teams begin harvesting from the routes their security just abandoned. Not random corpses. Specific ones. High-quality signatures. Storm Drakes. Ironjaw matriarchs. 2 preserved wyvern champions. 1 sealed dragon marrow block from Tower 4. I leave low-grade bodies untouched. Tonight is not about volume. It is about quality. My army rises from 81 to 96. 3 damaged drakes become transport units. 4 intact wyverns join the aerial reserve. 1 stone-backed crawler becomes a tunnel breaker. I do not animate everything. Soul mass matters more. My reservoir reaches 900. Saturates. Compresses. Reinforces. Maximum accessible storage 1,200 units. The cold nearly drops me to one knee. I stay standing. Pain is information. The unfinished curse responds. Draconic death signatures incorporated 248. Target lattice stability 16%. 4 percentage points gained from 62 new signatures. Not linear, as expected. The higher quality sovereign adjacent signatures contribute more structural detail than common drakes. Useful. Species scale targeting is not counting bodies. It is mapping draconic variation. If I want the curse to recognize every dragon, I need breadth. Different breeds. Different bloodlines. Different ranks. Maybe ancient strains. Maybe hybrids. The tidal weighting at the end of this road is becoming clearer. 10,000 dragons will not die because I have enough mana to overpower 10,000 separate enemies. They die if I build one rule that recognizes all of them at once. That is far more dangerous. And much more efficient. An explosion shakes the western tunnels. The strike has begun. Through a disposable scout buried near the false base, I watch. Sarek leads from the front. Silver spear blazing. Maelor stays behind the second security ring, smart enough not to share glory's risks. Barrier casters collapse the outer chamber. Soul detectors flare. My lone undead carrier runs exactly as commanded. Poorly, deliberately. It drags one leg, clutches the cursed tissue inside its ribs. Looks like a damaged servant trying to flee. Sarek sees it. Alive, technically impossible. But I appreciate the enthusiasm. 3 suppression chains strike the undead. It falls. Soul arrays activate. The tracking brand flares. Every investigator converges. My scout watches Malor kneel beside the body. He cuts open the rib cage, finds the dragon heart tissue. His entire posture changes. Victory. Complete. He thinks the phantom stole the bait. He thinks the phantom carried it here. He thinks weeks of investigation have led him directly to a necromancer's retreat. Then they breach the false chamber. Inside are the things I prepared days ago. Old dragon bones, broken containment jars, necromantic residue harvested from foreign constructs, 2 discarded academy tags from stolen corpses, and a wall covered in incomplete curse marks copied from the stitched dragon chamber. Not my actual curse architecture. Cruder. Foreign. Believable. Malor looks at them. Sarek laughs. Actually laughs. We found him. No, you found a story. Council investigators begin cataloging everything. One finds a black robe I planted. Another finds a shattered mask. Apparently the rumors deserve costumes now. Sarek lifts the mask. He really was hiding his face. I almost feel responsible for disappointing him. Then Malor sees the final piece. A ledger. Fake. Mostly. It contains corpse identification numbers copied from real missing inventory. Lysra's records gave me enough clues to build it. Beside each number, I write transfer locations. Some true, some false. Every path appears to lead outward from Blackspire, toward a single external buyer symbol, 3 skulls around an empty circle. The moment Malor sees it, his face changes. There, not confusion, recognition. He knows the symbol. Sarek does not. What is that? Malor closes the ledger. Too quickly. Nothing relevant to you. Sarek's pride cracks. My squad found this place. And your squad will receive credit. That isn't what I asked. Malor turns. Even through the scout's senses, I feel the coldness. Commander Vorn, the new title. A reminder. You have your victory. Sarek hesitates, then smiles again. Because rewards are easier than questions. Yes. Exactly. The enemy organization remains hidden. Malor protects the information. Sarek accepts status instead of truth. Varric will accept captured assets. Sable will accept cataloged remains. Everyone gets something. Everyone believes they won. That is what I need. I sever the scout's link before investigators find it. 1 disposable undead lost. Army count drops to 95. Worth it. The sovereign bone wyvern stands beside me. It has been silent for several minutes. Too silent. I turn. Its cobalt flames are no longer cobalt. A thin black line runs through the center of each wing. I approach slowly. The creature does not move. The ancient black tooth. I hid it beneath the western furnace rail weeks ago. Yet I can feel its signature through the wyvern now. Resonance. The tooth is responding from hundreds of meters away. The class reacts. Ancient sovereign material has recognized compatible successor structure. Evolution path detected. Locked. The wyvern's ribs expand. For 1 heartbeat, a second skeletal outline appears around its body. Larger. Massive. Not a wyvern. Something with 4 full limbs. 2 enormous wings. A crown of backward horns. Then the phantom structure vanishes. The wyvern collapses onto 1 knee. I catch its skull before it strikes the floor. Its soul link floods me with one sensation. Not pain, need. It wants the black tooth. Not like meat, not like treasure. This is different. Instinct deeper than personality. Evolution. I place my palm against its skull. Not yet. The black flame line trembles. The wyvern looks at me. Then toward the west. Above us, Blackspire's victory bells begin ringing. Sarek Vorn returns as the Academy's new First Lance commander. Malor Fen returns as the man who supposedly broke the Necromancer's network. The Council gains evidence that its missing dragon assets are being stolen by an outside enemy. Every powerful person gets exactly the conclusion they wanted. And because of that, none of them asks the question that matters. If they found the Necromancer's base, why did they not find the Necromancer? I help the Sovereign Bone Wyvern stand. Its wings open. Cobalt flame burns around a thin black core. Evolution waiting. Not ready, but coming. I look at the chalk map of Blackspire. The western sector is crossed out, a sacrifice. The eastern and southern sectors remain mine. 95 undead wait beneath the academy. 3 elite class links now pulse among them after tonight's harvest. My reservoir can hold 1,200 soul units. The dragon curse is 16% stable. And the people above me are celebrating because they believe the hunt is almost over. I draw one small circle around the council chamber, then another around the Vorn Roost contracts, then one around Maylor's office. The wyvern watches. They think they caught the shadow. Its black-lined wings flare. I erase Sarek's name from the center of the board and move it exactly where it belongs. Onto the bait. Let them celebrate. Tonight, arrogance is doing more work for me than an undead army ever could. Victory makes people careless. Greed makes them helpful. Blackspire manages both at once. 3 days after Maylor Fen destroys the Phantom Necromancer's western base, the Academy begins moving. Dragon remains out of secure storage. Not hiding them, displaying them. I watch the first convoy cross the central bridge from a maintenance slit inside the World Dragon's spine. 6 armored wagons, 20 Academy guards, 4 suppression mages, Sarek Vorn walking at the front in his new commander armor. And inside the wagons sit enough preserved dragon material to buy a small kingdom. Interesting. The sovereign bone wyvern crouches beside me. Its wings barely fit inside the maintenance chamber now. Cobalt flame still burns around that thin black core. The phantom outline of its future form has not appeared again. Not yet. It watches the convoy below, then looks at me. No. Its jaw opens. No. The sovereign talon scratches stone. You are not stealing the convoy. Black flame pulses. It clearly disagrees. I understand the temptation. The first wagon carries 3 intact Stormdrake cores. The second contains sovereign marrow. The third transports preserved spinal tissue from a sky tyrant killed nearly 80 years ago. Every death signature inside my body reacts. The unfinished curse practically hums. Exactly why I do nothing. A gift this large is never a gift. Blackspire wants it stolen. The Academy announcement says the material is being transferred to Tower 6 because the western vaults are compromised. The route crosses 2 exposed bridges, 1 disabled lift, and a storage plaza with exactly 4 convenient escape tunnels beneath it. Embarrassingly obvious. Maylor has built a larger trap. Good. That means he still believes mine. I pull away from the slit. Let them move it. The wyvern stays. I send a firmer command. It finally turns. Then deliberately scrapes 1 deep line beneath the bridge location on my chalk map. A complaint, noted. My hidden territory has changed again. 95 undead become 128. Not through major theft, through patience. Small remains. Discarded anatomy specimens. Dragon pit casualties too damaged for auction. Training beasts that die during recovery. Nothing valuable enough to trigger investigation alone. Everything valuable enough to me. My army now contains 4 elite minions. Frostbone Wyvern. Gravejaw. A storm-spined crawler capable of discharging residual lightning through its bones, and a narrow-winged dusk drake that can remain motionless against dark stone for hours. The 4th is my favorite scout, mostly because it does not steal food, evidence, or tracking crystals. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern hears the comparison through the soul link. It bites the edge of my coat. Point made. My reservoir remains capped at 1,200. I saturate it twice. No reinforcement. So growth has stalled. Another unknown threshold. Fine. The curse grows more slowly, too. Draconic death signatures incorporated 311. Target lattice stability 19%. Only 3 percentage points from 63 new signatures. Common bloodlines are giving diminishing returns. That confirms the pattern. I need diversity. Rare strains. Ancient strains. Sovereign bloodlines. The exact things Maylor just placed inside heavily guarded wagons. Temptation is simply another type of trap. I wait. Blackspire does not. On the 4th day, the convoy runs again. Different route. Same valuable cargo. Nobody attacks. On the 5th day, Maylor adds fewer guards. Nobody attacks. On the 6th, the wagons travel after sunset. Still nothing. By the 7th, students start complaining that the Necromancer escaped. Sarik complains louder. I hear him from the combat terrace while pretending to struggle through reinforcement drills. This is pointless. He drives his spear into a practiced dragon's skull. Silver mana cracks the target in half. Mira stands nearby. Tavian is absent. Sarek looks toward Maelor. If he wanted the material, he would have taken it. Maelor watches the shattered skull. He knows we are waiting. Then let me hunt him. You have been hunting him. I have been escorting wagons. A few students nearby pretend not to listen. Everyone listens. Maelor lowers his voice. So your solution is? Put something in the convoy he cannot ignore. There it is. Greed escalating bait. Maelor studies him. What? Sarek smiles. The first worm relic. Even I stop moving for half a heartbeat. The instructor beside me mistakes it for exhaustion. Veil. Again. I lift the training weight. My arms shake. Deliberately. Inside, my thoughts are somewhere else entirely. The first worm relic sits beneath Blackspire's council vault. Every student knows the legend. A vertebral shard supposedly taken from one of the first true dragons to appear after the world dragon died. Nobody knows whether the story is accurate, but Blackspire uses dust scraped from it during sovereign awakening ceremonies. Ancient draconic material. Exactly one of the conditions my companion's higher evolution requires. Maelor's expression hardens. Absolutely not. Sarek laughs. Then stop pretending this is a real hunt. Bad choice of words. Maelor steps closer. Sarek does not back away. His new title is already affecting him. I killed the construct. Sarek says. No. My companion did. I led the Western strike. Against an empty room. I found the Necromancer's network. You found what I drew for you. The council gave me command because I get results. There it is. Peak arrogance aging into entitlement. Maelor says nothing for several seconds. Then his gaze shifts toward the council tower. Calculating, dangerously. Sarek sees it. He presses. If the relic moves, the Necromancer comes. Maybe. If he comes, we capture him. Maybe. If we capture him, House Vorn buys the interrogation rights. Definitely. Sarek's smile grows, and Blackspire gets every undead asset he owns. There, the profit, not safety. Not justice. Ownership. Maelor turns away. Return to training. Sarek does, but he looks satisfied. He thinks the argument is over because he has already won it. 2 days later, Blackspire authorizes movement of the first worm relic. Predictable. The Academy does not announce that part, Tavian tells me. We meet in the least suspicious place possible, the library. Nobody expects conspiracies among books because most combat students consider reading an injury. Tavian sits across from me. He opens a dragon anatomy manual. I open a mana theory text I have failed twice. Perfect camouflage. He does not look up. They're moving something from the council vault tomorrow. What? You know. I don't. He turns a page. First worm relic. I keep reading. Sounds expensive. Sarek suggested it. Sounds stupid. Also expensive. Better. Tavian lowers his voice. Maelor objected. And lost? The council approved it. Why? Varek. Of course. Sarek's father. Tavian taps the edge of the page. House Vorn offered to cover half the security cost in exchange for first claim on whatever gets captured. I almost admire the efficiency. They are paying to enter my trap. What does Sable get? Tavian finally looks up. How did you know he was involved? Everyone with a title is involved. Close enough. Tavian hesitates. Exclusive licensing rights to recovered undead combat techniques. Of course. And Core? Another pause. You ask strange questions. I'm a strange person. Core requested live access to the Necromancer. That sounds exactly like him. Soul probes, biological testing, hidden class examination. 4 primary enemies are circling the same bait for 4 different reasons. Sarek wants glory. Maelor wants control. Lysra, I do not yet know what she wants. Core wants access to whatever makes my soul different. Secondary powers want profit. The machine is getting crowded. Tavian closes the manual halfway. There's something else. I wait. Maelor thinks the ledger from the western base is fake. There it is, the first real crack. My fingers stop on the page, only for a second. Why? One of the corpse numbers. I know instantly which one. Still, I ask, what about it? It belonged to a Frost matriarch processed 2 years ago. So? The ledger says it was transferred through Western storage 3 months ago. Damn. I copied the identification number from an old disposal plate. I assume the archive transfer data still matched the tag. Small error. Real error, Tavian continues. Maylor found it last night. What did he do? Nothing. That is more interesting than panic. Nothing? He ordered the convoy operation to continue. I look at him. Why? Tavian gives me a humorless smile. Because Varek already committed House Vorn funding. There it is. Greed beating doubt. And because Sable already promised recovered techniques to 3 guilds. Even better. And because Sarek announced the hunt would end this week. Perfect. Too many powerful people have attached reputation and money to the phantom necromancer. Admitting the evidence may be false now costs more than continuing. That is exactly what I need. Tavian leans closer. But Maylor changed the security arrangement. How? The relic convoy is real. I assumed. The route isn't. I glance at him. They leaked 3 different routes. Only one carries the relic. Which one? I don't know. Good answer. If Tavian knew everything, I would trust him less. He lowers his voice. And Kor is carrying a soul lock instrument. That matters. What does it do? I don't know exactly. Then why mention it? Because Jace heard Kor say it can identify the same soul across different undead. My thoughts go completely still. That is dangerous. Very dangerous. If Kor can trace one necromantic ownership pattern across multiple minions, the phantom stops being abstract. One captured undead could point toward others, maybe toward me, maybe not. Unknown. I hate unknown. I close the Mana Theory book. Stay away from tomorrow's convoy. Tavian notices the tone. Why? Because Sarek's plan is stupid. That has never stopped us before. Tomorrow it should. He studies me. You know something? Yes. What? That I dislike being asked questions. He leans back, frustrated. Still, he nods. Conditional asset, not friend. The distinction remains healthy. I return underground. The sovereign bone wyvern feels my mood before I reach the command chamber. Its wings flare. Black-centered cobalt fire illuminates the walls. I place Kor's name on the map, then draw a circle around every undead sector. One captured body may compromise the network, so I change the network. Again, no standing links between sectors during the convoy operation. Low-grade undead receive fixed commands in advance. Hide. Remain dormant. Attack only if a marked entrance is breached. Then I sever active control. The soul links go quiet one by one. 128 undead become scattered dead things waiting for conditions. Harder to trace. Less flexible. Necessary. Elite minions move into isolated chambers. Frostbone north. Stormcrawler under Tower 5. Duskdrake follows the convoy from above-ground shadows, but carries no active command once positioned. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern stays with me. Its link is too deep to sever safely. I do not know what Kor's device would see, so I do not let him see it. The next morning, Blackspire moves 3 convoys. One leaves through the eastern roost. One travels beneath Tower 4. One crosses the old graduation bridge. Each contains identical sealed reliquaries. Each has visible guards. Each looks important, beautiful. Maylor finally learned subtlety. I track all 3 through mundane methods. Students, schedules, maintenance vibrations, guard rotations, and one passive undead scout placed days ago. No soul command, just a corpse with a trigger. When it sees a specific council seal, it scratches one mark into the wall. Simple, physical, untraceable. The mark appears beneath Tower 4. Real convoy. I smile. Not because I intend to attack, because now I know where everyone important will stand when they believe I do. The relic travels inside a bone-lined vault. Sarek leads the front. Maylor walks behind the vault. Kor carries a long black case. Soul lock instrument. Varek Vorn watches through a remote projection. Sable has 3 guild representatives nearby, every one of them invested. Money, reputation, political capital, greed. And underneath Tower 4, lies one of Blackspire's oldest dragon transport arteries, a massive hollow channel through the world dragon's femur. It connects the convoy route to the abandoned magma elevator, which connects to the lower corpse processing network, which connects to my territory, not by accident. I chose this entire region weeks ago because its infrastructure overlaps everything. They simply brought the prize to the correct square. For 6 hours, nothing happens. Sarek becomes restless. Kor recalibrates his instrument twice. Maelor says almost nothing. Then Maelor opens the copied ledger again. I watch through a narrow ventilation seam 60 meters away. His finger stops on the incorrect Frost matriarch number. He stares. Long, too long, Kor notices. What? Maelor closes the book. Nothing. You've been reading that page for 20 minutes. Record discrepancy. Kor holds out his hand. Maelor does not give him the ledger. Interesting. Kor's eyes narrow. You think the western site was staged? Silence, Sarek hears. He turns immediately. What? Maelor's jaw tightens. Kor continues. One corpse number is impossible. Sarek walks over. So? So, someone wanted us to find that ledger. There. The suspicion is finally spoken aloud. For half a second, the entire trap threatens to collapse. Then Varric Vorn's projection activates above them. What is the delay? Sarek looks up. His pride answers before his brain. There is no delay, Maelor says. We may need to reassess. No, Sarek cuts in. Maelor looks at him. Dangerous. Sarek points at the reliquary. He knows the relic is here. You hope I do. He has stolen dragon remains for months. Not me. Mostly. He cannot ignore this. I can. Maelor says, if the evidence was planted... Sarek laughs. Actually laughs. Then whoever planted it still wants us looking here. Correct. Wrong conclusion. He spreads his arms. Either way, he comes. Varrek's projection nods. Sable's guild observers are already here. House Vorn money is already spent. The first worm relic is already outside its vault. Nobody wants caution now. Caution does not generate returns. Maelor knows it. I can see that in his face. He suspects the bait. He understands something is wrong. And still he says the sentence I have been waiting for. Continue the operation. There, the crack appears. Greed fills it. The machine keeps running. I retreat through the ventilation channel. No attack. Not today. The sovereign bone wyvern waits below. It looks toward the ceiling. I feel its confusion. All that treasure. All those enemies. Why leave? I place my hand against its skull. Because they are not deep enough yet. The black core inside its wings pulses. Above us, Blackspire keeps the relic convoy active into the night. Security teams rotate. Guild observers stay. Kor keeps his soul lock device ready. Sarek refuses to leave. Maelor keeps rereading the false ledger he no longer fully trusts. Everyone is waiting for the phantom to strike. Then something small happens. Almost nothing. A maintenance clerk receives an authorization slip from Maelor's staff. One piece of paper, one signature. The clerk pulls a lever. Deep beneath Tower 4, the old magma elevator unlocks for the first time in 19 years. I hear the gears turn through the world dragon bone. Once, twice. Then the entire ancient transport artery connects directly to the convoy level. The last sealed route opens. My chalk map is complete. Every path now links. Every enemy is committed. Every valuable asset sits inside the same controllable network. Maelor still thinks he is waiting for me to enter his trap. I look at the newly opened line on the map, then at the sovereign bone wyvern beside me. Cobalt fire burns around that thin black center. I do not smile. Not yet. The machine is finally ready. The trap does not explode with fire. It explodes with paperwork. One authorization slip. One unlocked magma elevator. One ancient transport artery Blackspire believed had been dead for 19 years. That is all it takes. The moment the final seal beneath Tower 4 opens, 6 hidden registry runes wake inside the dragon bone. I know because every one of them flashes across the chalk map in my command chamber. Not my runes, Blackspire's. Old logistics magic. Forgotten by students. Apparently forgotten by half the administration, too. The world dragon's hollow femur begins recognizing cargo again. And the first worm relic is currently sitting inside registered cargo. Perfect. I place my hand against the wall. The sovereign bone wyvern leans beside me. Black-centered cobalt fire rolls across its wings. Now. Not an attack command, a release. 3 weeks ago, when I planted my torn sleeve, broken blade, and cursed cavern drake beneath the western grounds, I needed the evidence to look convincing. So I did not simply create a trail. I connected that trail to Blackspire's own abandoned transport system. The false corpse lay beside an old smuggling exit because the exit still carries maintenance routing marks. Maylor followed those marks. His investigators reopened access points. His bait operations reactivated tracking stations. His western raid restored power to sealed logistics relays. And now his own final operation has unlocked the one elevator connecting every restored segment. He thinks he has closed a net around me. What he has actually done is turn on the machine I have been quietly mapping from the beginning. The old artery awakens. Then it starts reading inventory. The first worm relic has a council seal. The sovereign marrow has a vault seal. The preserved dragon organs have academy seals. And buried among the convoy records are dozens of dragon identification numbers that should not exist anymore. The ones Liss removed. The ones Maylor altered. The ones I copied into the false ledger. Blackspire's logistics system sees the contradictions. Ancient registry magic does what administrators apparently cannot. It audits. Every alarm in Tower 4 activates at once. Above me, bells scream. The sovereign bone wyvern jerks its skull upward. I feel amusement through the link. Yes. I almost smile. That part is ours. The convoy level descends into chaos. I watch through the dusk drake hidden in the ceiling masonry. One passive trigger wakes its soul link for exactly 10 heartbeats. Enough. Sarek spins toward the reliquary. What happened? A wall of pale text ignites across the old transport arch. Unauthorized duplicate inventory detected. Then another. Restricted corpse transfer conflict. Then another. Council-sealed biological assets registered at undeclared locations. Maylor's face drains of color. Korvask steps toward the registry. Turn it off. Nobody does. The system keeps digging. Dragon carcass number after dragon carcass number appears. Some are listed as destroyed. Some sold. Some cremated. Some transferred into private research. Yet old Marrowlift records show those same bodies moving through restricted routes after their official disposal dates. Exactly. The fake ledger worked because most of its numbers were real. I only needed one error to make Maylor suspicious. I needed the rest to make the old system curious. The mistake with the Frost Matriarch nearly exposed the lie. Instead, greed forced them to continue long enough to activate the only mechanism capable of comparing everything. Beautiful. Varric Vorn's projection flashes into existence. What is this? Counselor Sable appears beside him remotely. His face goes rigid. Maylor says nothing. That is the wrong choice. Kor looks at him. Fen. Still nothing. Sarek grabs Maylor's shoulder. What did you move? Maylor knocks his hand away. Nothing. The registry answers for him. Roostmaster authorization signature confirmed. 3 transfers. Then 5. Then 12. Maylor finally moves. He slams his palm against the control panel. Seal the artery. The panel rejects him. Active Council relic transit prevents shutdown. Of course. The first worm relic is too valuable to allow an ordinary emergency closure. A rule designed to protect property. Currently protecting my trap. Talk about thematic engineering. Varric's projection turns toward Sable. You said these vaults were clean. Sable snaps back. My office certifies licenses, not corpse disposal. Your guilds purchased half those remains. Through Quill's office. Lysra. There. Her name enters the room like a knife. Maylor looks toward Academy security. Bring Curator Quill. A guard hesitates. She is under sealed detention. Bring her. Kor's expression changes, not fear. Calculation. He closes the black case containing his soul lock instrument. Very quietly. I notice. So does Maylor. Doctor. Kor looks up. Leave the case. No. Interesting. Maylor steps closer. That instrument belongs to Blackspire. Kor's mouth twists. It belongs to my research office. Sarek looks between them. You knew. Nobody answers. His arrogance finally hits something harder than itself. You all knew. Not exactly, but anger does not require accuracy. Varric's projection sharpens. Sarek, secure the relic. Sarek turns immediately. Because father still outranks pride. He reaches for the reliquary. The old registry flashes again. House-worn private transfer codes detected. Sarek freezes, then slowly looks up. Varric's projection goes silent. Excellent. Sable laughs once. Not humor, relief that someone else is bleeding too. You hypocrite. Varric turns on him. You think your guild contracts are not in those records? Another alert appears. Sable Consortium Priority Resale Authorization. Silence. Then everyone starts talking. At once. Malor blames Lysra. Sable blames Varric. Varric accuses Malor of manipulating Academy inventory. Core says the biological transfers were authorized for research. Sarek demands to know why House-worn codes appear on corpses supposedly destroyed before auction. Nobody has a complete picture. That is the point. They do not need one. They only need enough truth to distrust each other. Then the real enemy makes its move. The three-skull symbol appears on the registry wall, not projected by me, not copied from my false ledger. Real. Black. 3 dragon skulls facing inward around an empty circle. My entire body goes cold. The sovereign bone wyvern feels it through our link. Its flames darken instantly. Someone else has been waiting for this artery to open. The registry text changes. External retrieval claim recognized. That is new. Then every sealed corpse chamber connected to the old artery unlocks. Hundreds of doors. Across Blackspire, at once, I hear the first roar from beneath Tower 2. Then another. Then 6. Not living dragons. Constructs, stitched bodies, hidden in sealed transfer chambers throughout the academy. Lysra was not moving corpses out. She was moving weapons in. Or both. That answer can wait. The floor shakes. A stitched wyvern tears through the Tower 4 access wall. Then another. Then a dragon with 3 skulls and an iron spine climbs from the magma elevator. Sarek's face loses every trace of triumph. There it is. Panic. The first construct charges. Sarek meets it with silver lightning. His spear punches through one skull. Black runes flare. The wound adapts. He swears. Apparently he remembers now. Don't feed it. Mira's voice comes from the rear security line. Good, she learned. Too late. 7 more constructs emerge. The convoy guards attack on instinct. Fire. Wind. Steel. Mana. Every strike creates new adaptations. Scale thickens. Limbs regenerate. Elemental resistance spreads. Malor screams for them to stop. Nobody hears him. The first worm reliquary cracks. That gets my attention. One of the constructs ignores every human around it and lunges directly for the relic. So that is the retrieval claim. The external group wants the first worm material. Blackspire placed the most valuable possible bait into the exact network their enemy uses. Greed has officially become comedy. Then my passive scout dies. Vision ends. I stand in darkness beneath Tower 4. The sovereign bone wyvern looks at me. We have a choice. Leave. Let Blackspire destroy itself. Take the relic later. Efficient. Cold. Tempting. Then I feel something through the dormant sectors. Not commands. Triggers. My undead detect breached territory. The constructs are descending. If they reach the lower corpse network, they reach my army. My base. My stored bones. And more importantly, the old artery they now control gives them access to every dragon corpse beneath Blackspire. Potentially thousands of signatures disappear if they take it. That makes the decision easy. I place both hands against the command stone. Wake. 128 dead souls answer. All at once. The pressure nearly tears the room apart. Eastern drainage, southern furnace, Tower 5 marrow shaft, lower roost, hidden processing chambers. Bone claws scrape stone. Dead wings unfold. Elite links ignite. The sovereign bone wyvern raises its head. I feel its anticipation like a blade. Open the gates. Gravejaw smashes through the southern wall. Frostbone wyvern tears open an air shaft. Stormcrawler sends lightning through rusted transport rails. The lower network wakes. My hidden army moves. For the first time, I do not keep it hidden. Tower 4's floor collapses under the weight of Gravejaw's charge. Students scream. Security lines turn. A massive armored undead drake erupts through the stone. Behind it come razor lizards, ash drakes, broken wyverns, Bone crawlers. Dozens. Then dozens more. Sarek stares. No. Yes, the undead flood upward, not attacking humans. Attacking constructs. That confuses everyone for exactly 3 seconds. I emerge behind them. No mask. No black robe. No dramatic throne. Just my academy coat. Still damaged. Still cheap. Still carrying the hollow channel crest everyone has ignored for years. Tavian sees me first. His face goes completely blank. Mira follows his gaze. Then Sarek. Sarek's mouth opens. Nothing comes out. Maelor looks at me. Then the undead. Then me again. His expression is almost satisfying. Almost. Nyron? I walk past him. A stitched drake dives. Stage 1 arrives immediately. Its claw hits Gravejaw hard enough to crack the elite's armored skull. 2 razor lizards are crushed beneath its tail. A wyvern construct drops from above and tears through 6 of my low-grade undead before Frostbone can intercept. Losses. Real ones. My army does not make me invincible. Good. Invincibility teaches nothing. The 3-headed construct charges the center. Sarek's squad tries to hold it. 1 head spits frost. 1 fire. 1 releases a shockwave of black soul pressure. Mira goes down. Tavian's replacement shield shatters again. The academy line folds. I watch. Not passively, carefully. Stage 2. Read. The constructs share adaptations now, not individually. Networked. Damage 1 with fire, 3 others gain resistance. Hit 1 with lightning, the entire front line begins hardening against it. That is new. The external group improved the design. I follow the black runes. Every adaptation flashes toward the same destination, not a core inside each body. The first worm reliquary. No. Something beneath it. A black seal has attached itself to the relic vault. The constructs are using the relic's ancient draconic authority as a synchronization anchor. Brilliant. Also catastrophically greedy. I have seen this mechanism before. Buffs. Ownership. Transfer. My incomplete buff theft tightens inside me. Single enhancement. Short range. 1 target. That was days ago. I now have 1,200 soul units available, hundreds of draconic signatures, and an entire network of undead connected to me. Why steal 1 buff? I rebuild the curse architecture while a dragon tries to kill us. Target active enhancement network. Rule draconic adaptation linked through 1 authority anchor. Trigger simultaneous undead contact. Effect transfer all compatible positive status effects to my commanded dead. The cost appears. 840 soul units. Brutal. Possible. I smile. Stage 3. Open fire. Hold them. My army surges. Not to kill. To touch. Razor lizards leap onto stitched legs. Ash drakes bite wings. Frostbone locks jaws with a construct twice its size. Gravejaw takes 3 attacks and refuses to release the central beast. Stormcrawler wraps itself around a black-scaled wyvern. 100 undead establish contact. The constructs begin tearing them apart. Fine. I only need 1 moment. I place my hand on the first worm reliquary. Core screams. Don't touch that. I look at him. Funny. Weeks ago he told me I had less mana than a dragon's shed scale. Now he sounds concerned about what my hand might do. I cast. Buff theft expands. Not a thread, a web. Black lines explode across the entire chamber. Every construct freezes. The adaptation network reverses. Fire resistance tears out of stitched scales. Regeneration disappears. Hardened armor collapses. Speed enhancement drains. Frost immunity, lightning resistance, muscle amplification, soul shielding. Every stolen advantage floods backward through my undead links. My army changes in front of them. Gravejaw's broken skull rebuilds instantly. Frostbone's wings become layered in adaptive ice armor. Stormcrawler grows black conductive plating. Low-grade razor lizards develop hardened claws. Broken wyverns regain structural stability. The sovereign bone wyvern takes the greatest share. Its cobalt flames turn almost completely black. The phantom shape around it flashes again. Huge. 4-legged. Crowned. Not ready, but close. The constructs stop regenerating. That is when the massacre begins. Stage 4. Absorb. My undead tear into bodies that suddenly remember how death works. Gravejaw crushes 1 skull. Frostbone rips out another core. Stormcrawler overloads 3 constructs through their exposed rune lines. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern launches. Its talon cleaves the 3-headed construct from throat to sternum. 1 strike. Then it bites through the synchronization seal attached to the first worm relic. The entire enemy network dies. Silence lasts 1 heartbeat. Then souls hit me. Dozens. Hundreds of fragmented draconic signatures. My reservoir empties from the buff theft cost and immediately refills. 300. 600. 900. 1,200. Saturation. Compression. Pain. I nearly black out. The reservoir breaks through again. Maximum accessible storage 1,800 units. I keep absorbing. My army count has fallen from 128 to 103. 25 losses. 4 elite minions survive. 32 damaged low-grade undead receive permanent reinforcement from stolen adaptation residue. 11 qualify for advanced reconstruction. The unfinished curse convulses inside me. Draconic death signatures incorporated 496. Target lattice stability 31%. A 12% increase. Massive. Because the constructs contain mixed bloodlines. Exactly what I need. I stand among the corpses. Black mist still pouring into me. Nobody speaks. Sarik is staring at the army. At me. At the Sovereign Bone Wyvern standing beside my shoulder like an executioner made from dragon bone and night. His face is not arrogant anymore. Maelor looks worse. He understands. Not all of it. Enough. The false base. The Western Trail. The undead dragon. The missing corpses. The army beneath Blackspire. Pieces are connecting. Slowly. Painfully. Kor grips his soul lock case against his chest. His hands are shaking. Mira looks between me and the dead constructs. Tavian simply closes his eyes for 1 second, probably reconsidering several conversations. Then Counselor Sable speaks from the damaged projection rune. Veil. My surname sounds strange coming from him. You can control them? I look around at the undead army. Yes. Sarik flinches. 1 word. That is all it takes. Varricvorn's projection appears beside Sable. His face is pale. The external attack is not over. Probably true. What do you require? There it is. The powerful finally reaching the correct stage. Need. Maelor stares at me. He hates the sentence before he says it. Help us. I look at him. He does not know yet that every step leading to this chamber began with a weak student deliberately leaving a torn sleeve beside a broken maintenance grate. He does not know that his investigation restored the old transport network. His traps powered my map. His bait exposed his own corruption. His final relic convoy opened the artery for the enemy, and his desperation has now forced him to ask the person he once left in a furnace to save Blackspire. I let the silence stretch. Then I look toward the first worm reliquary. A crack runs down its side. Inside, something ancient is calling to my companion. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern feels it too. Black fire floods its wings. Evolution waiting. Above us, deeper alarms begin ringing across all 6 towers. More constructs, more breaches. The attack is larger than this chamber. Good. Because I am no longer interested in hiding. I turn toward Maelor. You want my help? His jaw tightens. Yes. Sarik looks at me as if the world has committed a personal betrayal. I glance at him. He said he was finished chasing shadows. Now the shadow is standing directly in front of him. I place one hand on the Sovereign Bone Wyvern's skull. Behind us, 103 undead turn toward the upper towers. Every last one. The sound of bone-scraping stone fills the chamber. I look at the people who spent weeks hunting me. Then, at the academy they thought belonged to them. My terms come first. And for the first time since I enter Blackspire, nobody laughs. My terms are simple. Nobody in Tower 4 breathes comfortably. That improves the negotiation. 103 undead fill the shattered convoy chamber behind me. Gravejaw blocks the southern passage. Frostbone Wyvern hangs from the broken ceiling with ice armor covering both wings. Stormcrawler crackles around the exposed transport rails. And beside me, the Sovereign Bone Wyvern burns with cobalt fire so dark that the center of each flame is almost black. Maelor Fen looks at the army, then at me. Name them. I point toward the cracked first worm reliquary. The relic. Counselor Sable's projection erupts. Impossible. I ignore him. All corpse processing routes beneath Blackspire. Maelor's face tightens. Nyrin, Kor's soul lock instrument. Dr. Kor Vask grips the black case harder. No. I finally look at him. He takes one step backward. Good. And every dragon inventory record Lizra Quill touched in the last 5 years. Silence. Sarek stares at me. You planned this. Not all of it. Enough. I meet his eyes. You seem surprised. Before he answers, the first worm reliquary cracks again. This time the sound is not stone breaking. It is something breathing. The entire academy shakes. A black beam erupts from the relic, straight upward. Through Tower 4. Through the world dragon's fossilized ribs. Into the sky. Every dragon in Blackspire starts screaming. Not roaring, screaming. Thousands of voices overlap outside. The sound is completely wrong. The sovereign bone wyvern recoils. Black flame explodes across its wings. Then the symbol appears above the relic. 3 dragon skulls, 1 empty circle. A voice speaks from inside the black beam. Authority recovered. Not Malor. Not Sable. Not anyone in this chamber. The old transport walls split open. Figures in white bone masks step through. 12. Then 20. Then more. Their coats are made from layered dragon membrane. Everyone carries a black chain connected to the relic. At their center walks a tall man with an empty circular crown carved into his mask. I recognize the design immediately. The master symbol. The person standing in front of me is the Hollow Regent, whoever currently commands the organization Lysra serves. He spreads his arms. Blackspire. His voice carries through the chamber. Thank you for returning our key. Malor goes pale. So he knows exactly who this is. The Regent looks toward him. You were always the most useful kind of thief, Fen. There. Useful information. Malor was not merely investigating the corpse network. He has dealt with these people before. The Regent turns toward the cracked relic. First worm authority confirmed. Black lines spread through the ceiling, then across the academy, then beyond it. I feel them through every draconic signature inside my class. Thousands, more than thousands. A map forms in my mind. Breeding roosts, guild preserves, military hatcheries, contract farms, House Vorn facilities spread across the entire Dragonfall Basin, all connected by one ancient bloodline authority structure. Varric Vorn's projection flickers violently. What did you do? The Regent laughs. Your family did it for us. Sarek looks toward his father. Varric says nothing. That silence answers enough. The Vorn breeding network does not contain hundreds of dragons. It contains 10,000. Exactly 10,000 living warstock dragons registered beneath First Worm lineage contracts, and the relic is their master key. The Regent closes one fist. Every draconic signature on the map turns hostile. 10,000. All moving. Toward Blackspire. I understand the plan instantly. The corpse thefts. The stitched constructs. The hidden transfer chambers. The First Worm relic. The Circle never wanted dead dragons. The dead dragons were research material. They were studying bloodlines, building adaptation, learning how to override authority. Blackspire's council has been breeding an army for decades. The Hollow Circle just stole the command word. Time until arrival? I ask. Everyone looks at me. The Regent tilts his mask. Interesting. The old logistics arch responds to the authority pulse. Estimated convergence, 11 minutes. 11 minutes. 10,000 dragons, Sarek whispers. That's impossible. No. Unfortunately, it sounds extremely possible. The Regent points toward me. And there is the unexpected variable. His mask turns toward my army. A natural necromancer. Natural? Interesting wording. Take him alive. The Circle attacks. Stage 1. Receive the hit. Every bone-masked caster pulls their chains simultaneously. The First Worm authority pulse slams into my undead. Not physical force, command force. Half my low-grade links flicker. Then 31 undead turn around. Against me. That is new. A razor lizard bites into another's spine. 3 ash drakes attack Gravejaw. 1 dead wyvern dives toward my head. I duck. Its claws tear open my shoulder. Blood runs down my arm. Sarek blocks a second strike. Your own army is attacking us. I noticed. The Regent laughs. Anything built from dragon death belongs to the First Worm. Not quite, but close enough to be dangerous. Gravejaw roars as 7 controlled undead tear into its armored legs. Frostbone loses half a wing. Stormcrawler gets dragged into the transport trench. My army collapses from the inside. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern shudders beside me. The relic is pulling at it too. Harder than everything else. Its soul link twists. For one terrible second, I feel it slipping away. I tighten the connection. Not enough. The wyvern turns its skull toward me. Black flame fills its eyes. Then its sovereign talon rises. Sarek points his spear. Niren. I do not move. The talon stops against my throat. 1 centimeter away. The relic commands. My soul link commands. The wyvern trembles between them. Then it moves. Not at me. It drives the talon through its own chest. Everyone freezes. The silver claw tears out a black authority chain growing through its ribs. The wyvern rips the foreign command from itself, then crushes it. Cobalt fire erupts. The soul link slams back into place. Its choice, not mine. Something hot and unfamiliar moves through my chest. Pride. Actual pride. Not useful. Not tactical. Real. I let myself feel it for exactly 1 heartbeat. Then I put it where every other emotion belongs during battle. Behind the next decision. Good. The wyvern lifts its skull. The Hollow Regent stops laughing. Stage 2. Read the enemy. The authority chains are not controlling my undead directly. They are recognizing draconic material inside them. That is why low-grade corpses fall first. More original dragon tissue. More authority. My reconstructed elites resist better because my soul architecture replaces more of their old structure. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern resists best because it has become something new. Useful. The first worm relic is not absolute control. It is ownership recognition. And ownership can be stolen. I already have the correct skill. Buff theft. No, too small. Even the expanded web only transfers enhancements. Authority is deeper. A rule. A title. A right. I need something beyond theft. Outside, the sky darkens. The first dragon swarm appears between the world dragon's ribs. Hundreds of silhouettes. Then thousands behind them. 10 minutes disappeared quickly. Blackspire's defenses activate. Ballista towers fire. Barrier domes rise. Students scream. The first wave hits. The academy shakes so violently that 3 ceiling ribs collapse. An Ironjaw war dragon crashes through Tower 3. A storm dragon tears apart an aerial bridge. Fire spreads across the roosts. Those are only the fastest breeds. The rest are coming. The regent lifts both arms. Witness the end of the dragon hunters. He has made one mistake, a massive one. He linked all 10,000 dragons through a single authority pattern. One network, one command, one target architecture. I almost laugh. My SSS curse has spent weeks trying to solve the hardest problem imaginable. How do I recognize every kind of dragon at once? The hollow circle just answered it for me. I touch the first worm reliquary. My class detonates with information. Ancient authority imprint detected. Draconic target lattice synchronization available. The unfinished curse jumps. 31%. 44. 58. 73. The authority key maps bloodlines I have never absorbed. Sea dragons. Desert worms. Sky sovereigns. Cave queens. Iron breeds. Storm breeds. Ancient hybrid lines. Every contracted dragon in Houseforn's network fills a missing section. 92%. Then it stops. Of course. Still incomplete. 8% missing. The regent sees my hand on the relic. Remove him. Circle casters attack. Black chains strike. I call Gravejaw. It intercepts 3. Its entire chest explodes. Frostbone dives. 2 masked casters die. Stormcrawler climbs from the trench and discharges lightning through the transport rails. 6 more fall. My controlled army keeps shrinking. 103 becomes 79. 71. 64. Outside, dragon deaths begin registering. Academy defenses kill 12. Then 30, then 80. Every death signature enters the field. My curse climbs. 94%. 96. The regent understands something is wrong. What are you doing? Learning. A dragon crashes through the chamber wall. Massive. Red scales. Housevorn command brand around its throat. Sarek recognizes it. His face empties. Razel, his family dragon. The beast attacks him. He cannot move. I can. My movement curse slows the dragon for half a heartbeat. Sarek dives away. Razel's claw hits me instead. My ribs collapse. I fly across the chamber. Stone catches my back. Something inside me tears. Pain becomes white noise. Stage 1 apparently wants an encore. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern screams. Actual sound this time. Raw. Violent. It lunges at Razel. I stop it through the link. Not yet. I look at the curse. 98%. Still missing something. Rare bloodline. Ancient sovereign material. The words from the evolution path return. Ancient sovereign material. Complete draconic authority imprint. High-density soul ignition. Compatible death field. The same ingredients can solve both problems. I know where the ancient material is. Dusk. Far beneath Blackspire, my silent elite wakes. One fixed command. Retrieve the tooth. Weeks ago, I hide the ancient black dragon tooth beneath the western furnace rail. The dusk drake tears through abandoned shafts. Fast. Outside, another dragon wave hits. Hundreds. Blackspire's barrier cracks. The Hollow Regent raises his arms like a priest greeting a god. Sarek crawls toward me. Do something. I look at him. Funny how often he says that lately. Kor runs toward the exit. Maelor grabs him. You're not leaving. Everyone is leaving. The lower shelter will not survive 10,000 dragons. Kor shoves him away. Sable's projection disappears. Varex remains. He is screaming orders at Houseborn facilities nobody obeys anymore. Then the Dusk Drake reaches me. Its jaws hold one black tooth. Ancient. Restricted. The first object that made my companion afraid. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern goes still. I take the tooth. The first worm relic cracks open completely. Inside is a pale vertebral fragment glowing with golden authority. Black and gold. Death and command. I place both against the Wyvern's chest. The class reacts. Ancient sovereign material confirmed. Complete authority imprint confirmed. I open my reservoir. Every last soul unit. 1,800. High-density soul ignition confirmed. Outside, hundreds of dragons die over Blackspire. Inside, constructs, undead, and circle casters cover the floor. Compatible death field confirmed. Evolution begins. Stage 3. Open fire. The Sovereign Bone Wyvern disappears inside black flame. Not hidden, consumed. Its skeleton breaks apart. Sarek stares. What did you do? I do not answer. The bones grow. 2 hind legs become 4 true limbs. The chest expands. Wings stretch across the entire convoy chamber. Silver sovereign plating spreads over a massive black skeleton. Backward horns lengthen into a crown. The ancient tooth dissolves into one enormous fang. The first worm fragment embeds itself inside the sternum. Then the flames collapse inward. A dragon stands beside me. Not a wyvern. Not a hatchling. Not a stolen corpse. Something the world has never registered before. Grave Crown Sovereign Dragon recognized. Evolution complete. Draconic Authority Resistance absolute. Soul Flame Dominion unlocked. Species Curse Conduit unlocked. The dragon lowers its crowned skull. To me, not the relic, not the Hollow Regent. Me, I put one bloody hand against its face. There is the emotion again. Pride. And something worse. Attachment. I know exactly what it is. I do not deny it. I simply refuse to let it make decisions for me. You took long enough. Black flame rolls from its jaws. The curse reaches 100%. Triple S architecture complete. A name forms inside my mind. Dragonfall Edict. Target all dragons linked through confirmed draconic authority. Rule true draconic soul signature. Trigger my command transmitted through the grave-crowned sovereign. Effect terminate soul continuity. Cost everything. Every stored soul. Every loose death fragment in the battlefield. Every temporary adaptation remaining in my army. Brutal. Acceptable. I look through the hole in Tower 4. The sky is dragons. 10,000 signatures. Exactly. The Regent realizes what I built. His voice cracks. No. First panic. Then fear. Then something better. He runs. My dragon inhales. I whisper one word. Fall. The Triple S curse activates. No explosion. No beam. No dramatic wave. The Grave-Crowned Sovereign Dragon roars once. Every living dragon in the Authority Network stops. 10,000 hearts beat, then 10,000 souls break. All at once. The sky goes silent. For one impossible second, 10,000 dragons hang above Dragonfall Basin like frozen stars. Then they fall, every last one. The sound arrives later. Mountains of flesh striking towers, roosts, cliffs, bridges, volcanic fields. The entire basin trembles. Blackspire disappears beneath a storm of dead dragons. Dragonfall Edict complete. Confirmed kills 10,000. My reservoir empties to 0. My knees hit the stone. Stage 4. Absorb. 10,000 souls reach for me. I cannot take them all. No reservoir could. So the grave-crowned sovereign opens its wings. The souls divide. Thousands pour into the dead army. Broken minions rebuild. Elites evolve. Low-grade corpses harden into war forms. The rest compress into a black aurora surrounding Blackspire. My reservoir tears itself wider. 1,800. 3,000. 6,000. Then the count disappears. Capacity unreadable. The class has stopped pretending normal limits matter. The Hollow Regent collapses. His bone mass cracks. He crawls backward. No. My dragon lands in front of him. He stops. Behind me, Malor is on his knees. Not injured badly, just terrified. Kor has dropped his soul lock case. Sarek is staring through the broken wall at 10,000 dead dragons covering the basin his family spent generations breeding. His entire inheritance is lying motionless beneath the academy. The regent begs first. I let the grave-crowned sovereign finish him. One bite. No ceremony. He is not one of the people I came here to judge. Malor is. He grabs my damaged coat. Nyron. I look down. His face has completely changed. No authority, no cold amusement. Nothing left. We can make an arrangement. I say nothing. Blackspire needs you. Still nothing. I can give you the roosts, the corpse network, my office. Anything. There, begging, he swallows. Just don't kill me. I remember the grave furnace. The locked door. The blue flames. His clean gray coat. The sentence he gave me before sending me below. I crouch until we are eye level. Then I repeat it exactly. Weak things are useful when they die in the right place. Malor stops breathing. I stand, but I do not kill him. Not yet. Sarek, Malor, Kor, and somewhere inside Blackspire detention, Lizra. 4 accounts remain open. Around us, 10,000 dragons are dead. My grave-crowned sovereign dragon spreads wings large enough to cover the ruined convoy chamber. Black fire fills the gaps between its bones. Every surviving person looks at me now. No one sees the hollow channel. No one sees Blackspire's weakest student. That part of the story is finished. The judgment is not. 10,000 dead dragons make surprisingly good paperwork. By sunrise, Blackspire has stopped burning. Mostly. 3 towers remain standing. 2 lean at angles that should not be physically possible. Tower 4 no longer has an eastern wall. The central bridge is buried beneath 7 dragon corpses. The volcanic basin below the academy has vanished under scales, wings, broken horns, and enough sovereign blood to keep every alchemist on the continent employed for a century. No one celebrates. That would require understanding what happens next. I do. That makes one of us. I stand inside Blackspire's old registry chamber with the grave-crowned sovereign dragon behind me. Its skull nearly touches the ceiling. Black soul fire burns between enormous skeletal wings. The first worm fragment glows inside its sternum. Around the chamber, academy officials remain exactly where my undead place them. Not chained. Chains are unnecessary. Gravejaw blocks the door. Frostbone hangs over the upper gallery. 32 reinforced undead occupy the corridors. Nobody is leaving. Malor Fen kneels near the broken logistics arch. Dr. Kor Vask sits against one wall beside his soul lock case. Sarek Vorn stands. Barely. He refuses to kneel. I respect the effort more than the result. Curator Lysra Quill arrives last. 2 undead drag her from detention. Her wrists are still bound in black suppression wire. Her face changes when she sees me. Then the dragon behind me. Then the basin outside. She understands faster than most. Good. I dislike repeating myself. Tavian stands near the registry controls, Mira beside him. Jay sits in a medical chair because apparently being tortured does not improve mobility. None of them speak. They are witnesses. not judges. Blackspire spent years allowing powerful people to decide what every student was worth. Today, the registry does something more useful. It records facts. I place one hand against the ancient control stone. The old logistics system awakens. Dragon inventory fills the wall. 10,000 confirmed deaths. House Vorn Warstock network destroyed. Private breeding contracts terminated. Unauthorized corpse transfers exposed. Restricted biological experiments exposed. False disposal certifications exposed. The lists keep growing. Varric Vorn attempts to disconnect his remote console projection. I lock it. His face remains hanging above the chamber. Counselor Sable tries the same thing. Locked. Neither is important enough for personal attention. Their companies are. I touch the registry. Every corpse transfer record, illegal purchase, hidden guild contract, and council authorization copies itself into Blackspire's public student archive. Then the city registry. Then the licensed hunter network. Sable turns white. Varek starts shouting. I mute both projections. Much better. Their punishment is simple. Visibility. Their assets will eat them alive without my help. I have 4 other people to deal with personally. Sarek is first. He watches me approach. Blood has dried across his silver commander armor. One shoulder plate is missing. His spear lies broken 20 meters away. Yesterday, that armor identified the first Lance Commander of Blackspire. Today, it identifies a man whose family just lost 10,000 dragons. He lifts his chin. You think this makes you better than me? No. His expression flickers. I stop in front of him. I stopped measuring myself against you a while ago. That hurts more. Good. Sarek looks toward the dead dragons outside. My family built those bloodlines for 6 generations. I know. You destroyed everything. Yes. His jaw trembles. Not fear. Not yet. Rage. You could have broken the circle's control. Probably. You didn't have to kill them. Correct. I could have tried separating 10,000 authority links while Blackspire collapsed around us. Maybe I save a few hundred. Maybe the hollow circle regains control. Maybe thousands of people die. I chose the reliable solution. I do not apologize for reliable solutions. Sarek steps closer. You were waiting for this. No. That part is important. I was waiting for you to walk into a smaller trap. He actually looks confused. The hollow circle improved the scale. Mira makes a strange sound behind me. Possibly a laugh she decides not to finish. Sarek's fists clench. You were nothing. There it is, back to familiar ground. I raise one hand. Buff theft activates. Not the battlefield version. Smaller, precise. Sarek's silver mana flares automatically. I take it, all of it. His reinforcement enhancement, his spear affinity, his accumulated dragon blood blessings, the Vorn lineage buff woven into his soul since childhood. Every purchased advantage, every inherited enhancement, every external layer Blackspire used to call his talent. They peel away one by one. Sarek screams. He drops to one knee. His mana does not disappear. I leave him exactly what is naturally his. The reading settles. Low, painfully ordinary. His eyes widen. What did you do? I remember the bridge, the Ember Drake, his squad standing behind the barrier while I bleed. I repeat his sentence exactly. If you survive, at least try not to lower the class average. He goes completely still. I send the stolen enhancements into the registry crystal, not into myself, not into my undead. I erase them, permanently. Sarek reaches for me. Gravejaw lowers its head. He stops. You can't leave me like this. I can. My rank, gone. My contracts, gone. My family. I glance toward the basin. Busy. His breathing accelerates. For the first time, Sarek Vorn knows exactly what it feels like to stand inside Blackspire with too little power to matter. I leave him alive. That is the punishment. Maelor is next. He does not look at Sarek. He is too busy watching me. Calculating. Still. Even now, I almost admire the consistency. Nyren, he says. We already had this conversation. We can still make an arrangement. No. I know the corpse network better than anyone. Exactly. His eyes narrow. I place the public registry beside his private transfer records. Hundreds of dragon bodies. Misclassified. Redirected. Sold. hidden. Construct material passed through facilities under his authority. Students sent into training grounds with altered safety protocols. Casualty waivers approved before exercises began. My bridge incident appears. Containment delay authorized by Roostmaster Malor Fen. There, confirmation. He did not simply fail to save me. He instructed the attendants not to interfere. I look at him. You expected the Ember Drake to kill me. He says nothing. That is an answer. Why? Hollow channels consume Academy resources. There it is. Efficiency. He considered me waste. If weak students died during legitimate exercises, their remaining sponsorship allocations returned to departmental budgets. Tavian whispers something violent behind me. I ignore it. Malor continues because he thinks explanations create leverage. You were one student. Yes, that is the reality of institutions like Blackspire. No. I turn toward the grave furnace access control. That was your reality. His face finally changes. The furnace doors open 3 levels below us. I feel the heat rise through the shaft. Malor sees the indicator. No. I look at him. He already heard this sentence once. I say it again anyway. Weak things are useful when they die in the right place. His composure breaks. Niren. 2 undead seize his arms. He struggles. Niren. They drag him toward the lift. I can give you names. I already have the registry. Roots, I own them. Contacts. Lysra knows those. He looks at her. She looks away. Malor begins begging properly. Not bargaining. Begging. I don't want to die. I press the furnace control. Neither did the students you budgeted for. The lift descends. His screams fade. The grave furnace activates. This time nobody schedules a malfunction. I do. The registry changes. Roostmaster Malor Fen assets terminated. Simple. Lysra watches the status line. Her face has no color left. I walk toward her. She stands before I reach her. Pride. Useful little reflex. You need me, she says. I probably do. That surprises her. Then remove these restraints. No. Her eyes harden. I controlled Blackspire's corpse economy for 9 years. I know. You don't understand the contracts. I will. The guild. Buyers. I have their records. The black market routes. You are going to give me those. She laughs once. And if I refuse? I touch the registry. Every confiscated asset connected to her office appears. Hidden accounts. Soul crystal reserves. Dragon marrow shares. Private vaults. Then something smaller. Contribution adjustments. Thousands. Student names beside modified rewards. Kills reassigned. Salvage credits redirected. My bridge exercise appears. Niren Vale contribution 0. Sarek Vorn squad full containment credit. Lysra looks at the wall. I remember her stylus, her bored expression, her sentence. A corpse doesn't earn contribution points. Her lips part. I say it exactly. A corpse doesn't earn contribution points. Then I place one finger against her chest. Corpse command does not activate. She is alive. Curse architecture does. Target Lysra Quill. Rule every stolen contribution record personally authorized by target. Trigger acquisition of wealth, rank, credit, or contractual benefit. Effect automatic transfer to the original victim or surviving claimant. Her eyes widen. The structure costs almost nothing compared with yesterday. My reservoir is something else now. I cast. Black writing flashes beneath her skin. Gone, Lysra gasps. What did you... Try earning something. She stares. I remove her restraints. She immediately reaches for the authority seal still attached to her curator uniform. The moment she touches it, the seal turns gray. Ownership transfers. A junior archive worker's name appears in the registry. Lysra freezes. She grabs the coin pouch at her belt. The coins disappear, reassigned across 14 student accounts. She reaches for her private vault key. The key cracks. Every asset begins redistributing. Years of stolen contributions. Years of diverted salvage. Years of manipulating who receives credit for dragon kills. All of it flows backward. Not to me. To the people she took it from. Lysra starts shaking. Remove it. No. You're taking everything. I'm taking nothing. That is what makes it work. You can live as long as you want. Her face collapses. You just cannot profit from anyone again. For someone who built her entire life by converting other people's work into personal value, survival suddenly looks horrifying. Perfect. I leave her standing beneath a registry that will follow her longer than any prison sentence. Core is last. He has been quiet. That is intelligent. His soul lock case sits beside him. I pick it up. He watches my hands. Careful. I almost laugh. Now you're worried about me touching your equipment? That device contains 12 years of research. Good. I open it. The soul lock instrument resembles a black tuning fork built around a crystal needle. The same basic principle as the probe he used on me. Only stronger. Designed to identify necromantic ownership through soul resonance. Core slowly stands. You don't understand what that can do. I understand exactly what you wanted it to do to me. His mouth closes. The medical archive opens on the registry wall. Unauthorized soul testing. Student experimental scans. Failed awakening candidates used as baseline subjects. Dead students retained for post-mortem resonance studies without family consent. My own file appears. Hollow channel. Spiritually negligible. Candidate suitable for invasive baseline testing if field survival continues. I stare at the line. So that was next. Interesting. Core sees it. We all have research proposals. That is a terrible defense. It was never approved. You were carrying the instrument into Malor's trap. For the Necromancer, yes. He finally understands where this goes. No. I remove the crystal needle. Core backs away. The grave-crowned sovereign dragon lowers its skull behind him. He stops. I remember the medical room. Cheap bandages. No healing. His fingers measuring my worthless mana pulse. Then the sentence. You were born with less mana than a dragon's shed scale. I repeat it exactly. Core's face twists. Niren, listen. I press the soul lock needle into his palm. The device activates. His own soul signature appears. I reverse the instrument. Not detection, containment. Core screams. His mana remains. His body remains. His mind remains. But every supernatural sense he cultivated through years of soul research folds inward. Locked. He reaches for magic. Nothing answers. He can still move. Still breathe. Still think. But he can no longer sense mana. Souls. Dragon cores. Healing energy. Anything beyond ordinary flesh. For a researcher obsessed with measuring what makes other souls exceptional, the world becomes permanently silent. He looks at his hands. No. I put the instrument back inside its case. You wanted a baseline. I close the lid. Now you are one. Core falls to his knees. That finishes the 4. Different crimes. Different results. Sarek keeps his life and loses every inherited advantage he used to define weakness. Mylor enters the same furnace system where he disposed of students and corpses for profit. Lizra lives under a curse that returns every stolen benefit to the people she robbed. Core survives inside a body permanently cut off from the forces he spent his career dissecting in others. No forgiveness. No speech about becoming better people. I have administrative work, far more unpleasant. By midday, Blackspire's surviving council votes to appoint me emergency warden. I refuse. They try Archmaster. No. Dragon Regent. Absolutely not. I choose a simpler title, Custodian. Tavian laughs when he hears it. I let him. The title does not matter. The access does. Blackspire's corpse routes now answer to me. Its remaining dragon vaults answer to me. Its old logistics system is rewritten so no corpse can vanish without creating a public record. Contribution scores become immutable after assignment, unless every alteration is visible. Hunting licenses no longer belong to Sable's private discretion. The Academy's surviving students receive shares from the 10,000 dragon carcasses covering the basin, not charity, labor. They are going to spend months harvesting them. The weakest students get paid too. Not because I suddenly care about fairness as a principle, because wasting workers is inefficient. Mylor taught me that much. The grave-crowned sovereign dragon claims the central rib arch before sunset, not as a throne, as a perch. Its enormous black skeleton rests between the fossilized bones of the world dragon, while students rebuild bridges beneath it. Cobalt black flame burns inside its ribs. Its treasure hoard has also evolved. Unfortunately, The creature now owns 3 sovereign cores, 1 first worm gold plate, Lysra's carving knife, 2 broken tracking crystals, Sarek's commander insignia, and, for reasons beyond comprehension, the same dried meat strips it stole from the academy kitchen weeks ago. They are petrified. It refuses to discard them. Some things survive evolution. I stand on the repaired registry balcony at dusk. Below me, Blackspire is ruined. Alive. Different. Beyond it, the Dragonfall Basin is covered in 10,000 corpses. Black wings stretch to the horizon. For centuries, this academy teaches students that killing a dragon proves their value. Now, the largest dragon graveyard in recorded history exists because the student with the lowest mana score learns how to turn death itself into targeting data. Talk about a grading error. Tavian joins me at the railing. What happens when the other guilds come? They negotiate. And if they don't? The grave. Crowned Sovereign lifts its head behind us. Tavian nods. Right. He leaves. I remain. My class is quiet now. No urgent warning. No unfinished target lattice. Dragonfall Edict exists. I know its mechanism. I know its cost. I also know exactly why I should never cast something like that casually. Not morality. Arithmetic. 10,000 corpses create logistical problems I intend never to repeat without preparation. The last sunlight catches Blackspire's shattered towers. Workers move across bone bridges. Undead haul dragon carcasses beside living students. Nobody laughs at the sight anymore. Nobody calls for suppression squads. Nobody asks whether a hollow channel belongs here. The question lost relevance. I rest one hand on the registry stone. Blackspire once measures every life by how much power it can extract from dragons. Then its most powerful people steal, falsify, experiment, and sacrifice anyone weaker than themselves because they assume the system belongs to them. They make one mistake. They leave me alive inside it long enough to learn how the system works. I look across 10,000 dead dragons. The smile that reaches my face this time is small, cold, real. People like Maylor always talk about consequences as if they are rules meant for somebody else. They are not. Cause and effect do not care who signs the ledger. I simply make sure the accounts close.